Happy game day, everybody. Or rather, happy game night, as we're just over 2 hours away from kickoff of the first night game of the 2025 Texas football season. Welcome in to the Texas Sports Unfiltered pregame show, broadcasting live from the legendary Scholz Garten, just a stone's throw away from DKR-Texas Memorial Stadium. The site of tonight's matchup between the 8th-ranked Texas Longhorns and the Sam Houston Bearkats. Alongside former Texas running backs coach Bucky Godbolts, I am BK Brad Kellner. We've got Mason Gomez here on site, Adam Wagner back home on controls, and we are with you for the next 2 hours, getting you set for the final non-conference game of the 2025 season for your Texas Longhorns. Buck, happy game day, my man.
Same to you. What a beautiful day for football. It really is. BK, this weather's great. And once the sun goes down and that kickoff at 7 o'clock, it's going to be special. This is a fantastic day. I think it's Parents' Weekend here.
It is.
Lots of folks hanging around. Dad's got the wallet out. He's got the credit card out. Get it ready. He's shaking his head. Oh, yeah, you're right about that? Oh, my goodness.
That was a very disappointing head shake.
It was.
He's like, damn it, he's right.
He's right. Just open up the wallet. The kids are ready. The roommates are ready, too. So enjoy this weekend. What a beautiful weekend it's going to be here in Austin.
I'm pretty grateful it's a night game.
Oh, yeah.
Because I will be in the building. I will be attending my first Texas football game in person here in 2025. And, hey, every game day is a good day. But the first home game 2 weeks ago, 11 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
The home game last week, 3:15 a.m. I think a lot of Longhorn fans, for a number of reasons, are pretty excited that we'll be under the lights tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's special. It really is. That special time where everybody just cranks it up in a lot of different ways.
Oh, man.
People enjoying their beverages here at Zagarunde Hall and all over this city right now. All the places are packed. I was just strolling around before I came down. I got down here really, really early and going to some places I was thinking of grabbing something to eat. Every place is packed.
Yep.
I mean, it's been that way since noon. As I said, Mom and Dad are in town. Dad's got that wallet out, and he's just buying. It's open. He's buying today.
Hey, my dad's not in town, so if any dad out there wants to buy
adopt
me
you
a beer,
for a day, well, yeah, heck yeah.
I'll
Why
take
not?
a dinner. I'll take a beer. I'll take anything.
There you go.
Whatever you got. Why not? It's lively down here. And again, we are just a stone's throw away from DKR. Come by and see us. Of course, we will be giving away a free pair of Ariat boots and denim. So if you're here at Scholz Garten, stop by the table to our left. And if you are not here yet, come by and see us on your way to the game. Of course, if you're looking for a place to watch the game tonight, a reminder, tonight's game is on ESPN Plus, SEC Network Plus. So if you don't have cable and you aren't sure if you have a way to watch this game, come here to Scholz Garten. They will have the game on. Zagarunde Hall has air conditioning. They'll have the sound on as well.
Plenty of seats here, too.
Plenty of seats, great food, tons of drinks. Of course, Earl Campbell will be here as well. If you need a last-minute spot to watch this game, make sure you come by Scholz Garten. All right, a lot to dive into. Obviously, we will preview this game from every angle. Later in the show, Bucky will give his 3 keys to a Texas victory. We'll give our offensive and defensive player of the game predictions. A lot to dive into. But, look, this should be a relatively easy game for Texas, Buck.
Yeah, this is truly, when you say a stat game, this is a stat game for a lot of individuals. But there's some things we're looking for from the team itself, especially on the offensive side, to see this offense really, really click. And it should. The competition they're playing tonight they should overwhelm this team in all ways. Run, pass, special teams, protect the quarterback. The quarterback gets in a little bit of a groove and, plays a little bit of poise. I thought about the way this team has been playing. Game one, there were a little bit of jitters with Arch Manning. And then it just kind of kept going. It just never seemed like he got his poise together. And it wasn't just his poise. It was the poise of the whole offensive game plan, the team itself, the offensive line, the running backs.
Yep.
It seems like a game where you can get your poise back tonight.
Yeah, it's very rare to use the term "get right game"
when
you're coming off of a win. And Texas won last week by 3 scores. But
yeah, they've only lost the first game.
But the offensive performance last week left a lot to be desired. And if we're being honest, outside of that 5-minute stretch, the end of the first quarter and the start of the second quarter against San Jose State in week 2, we haven't seen a whole lot from this offense. The defense, they picked up right where they left off.
Sure.
They look like one of the best groups in the country. The kicking game is much improved. Mason Shipley's 3 for 3 on field goals. Jack Bomeister, your punter, looks very good. But you said it, Buck. The offense, we're still waiting for them to get into a consistent rhythm. This is their last chance before SEC play gets here.
Yeah, I don't think you get to do this in the swamp.
No.
that place is going to be smoking, and it is going to be ready. So you got to tune in things today. Tune it up today. Have a week off. As I said, sometimes it's better when you can get away from the game. And there seems to be one guy in particular that probably needs to get away for a couple of days.
Who's that?
That's the quarterback.
Oh,
he looks like he needs. I mean, he needs a day or two off, but he needs to play well today. As I said, it's like poise, but more so than poise, it's confidence in everybody that's on that offensive team. I mean, that's the offensive line, the running backs, and the quarterbacks and wide receivers. There needs to be a sense of confidence, and you should have confidence against this team.
Yeah.
You really should.
39.5-point favorites right now. They were big favorites against UTEP. They failed to cover. We'll see if the Longhorns can cover for the first time all year. They're 2-1 as their actual record. They're 0-3 against the spread. So the Longhorns looking to cover for the first time. And I think Texas fans are just looking for an easy, stress-free victory. Even though the last 2 weeks were kind of blowouts, you never felt like the Longhorns were in jeopardy of losing. There's still some uneasiness with the 100,000 at DKR and all the folks watching around Longhorn Nation. Everyone's hoping for just a smooth, nice, easy, enjoyable Saturday.
Yeah, the coordination of the offense just hadn't been there.
Oh.
Really, there were stretches against a fantastic defensive team like Ohio State, and you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that since then, and it's time for it. It's time for those guys to gather things together. As I said, confidence, poise, and just get the rhythm and the timing down that you need to get it. I don't care who the running back's going to be. It doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to see Trey again today. We won't see Trey Wisner, but it doesn't matter who goes in there. Your team is far more superior than the team that you're going to play today. So whoever gets their opportunity, this is a great opportunity for a lot of players today.
It is.
And it's a real opportunity for the quarterback who has to get good, because in order for this team to go to where they want to get to, they can't get to that spot if the quarterback's still playing without the confidence that he needs to be playing with.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that his last name is Manning.
No.
That's how it always is. If your quarterback isn't playing at a high level, then your team is not going to achieve the goals that it wants to achieve. So this is a Texas team, obviously started the year as the #1 team in America, one of the co-favorites to win the national championship. The expectations for this group were sky high, and it's not all on the quarterback. Things haven't been great through the first 3 weeks, but they need their quarterback to be the guy that we were hoping he would be for this team to look like a true contender.
Yeah, and a lot of people will say, what does this really prove tonight? Well, it proves that your team has some confidence. They look good on offense. They look together on offense. They look poised. So it really, a lot of things, I mean, a score won't really matter to me tonight. It will be how the offense plays. I expect the special teams to look good tonight. I expect special teams touchdown one way or the other, kickoff return, punt return. But I expect the defense to do what the defense has done all year long. Stifle whoever's running the ball or throwing the ball or receiving the ball. I think they'll just stifle this group. I don't know how this group scores more than 14 points. As I said, if they score 14, you've given them 7 somewhere.
I'd be disappointed if they got
I would too. I would think that you'd have to gift them one, in your own territory. And that's the only way this team can score against them.
Yeah. I'd be disappointed if they get into the end zone today, they being Sam Houston.
Oh, yes.
Plenty of sound from Steve Sarkeesian. Look, we'll take you back to last week, right? Texas, of course, beat UTEP 27-10 was the final score, but it was ugly. And Texas got booed at the end of the first half. And it was the offense and the quarterback who just couldn't figure it out. The fans obviously weren't thrilled. Here's Steve Sarkeesian from Monday's presser talking about his team getting booed on their home field.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as I said earlier, I think that we've set a standard around here of the way we play football, and there's an expectation from our fans about the way we play football. It's fast, it's physical, it's tough, it's smart, it's exciting. And at times we didn't play that way this weekend. And I think at the end of the day, they're spending money. They're coming to games. They're sitting in the heat. They want to make sure we give them something to give them a reason to be there. And so that's not the only reason we're all there. We're obviously there for as a team, our own goals, our own aspirations, and what we're not only trying to do on that Saturday, but for the duration of this season. But also, man, our fans offer so much support to us that clearly, if they were booing about the way we were playing, just imagine how we were feeling about the way we were playing at some of that juncture in the first half. So understandable, but again, don't give up on us too quick. I think we got a pretty good team.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean the fans have given up on you. It just means the fans are disappointed in what they see.
Yeah,
and they're going to let you know it. By the way, and that's the only thing they can do. You know, they can't. Well, they could throw water bottles. They've done that before, but they just trying to show you their disapproval of the way. You know, you say you want to play fast. You haven't seen much of that. You want to play physical. At times you play physical, but not a lot of that. And you say you want to play smart. There's a lot of that not smart stuff going on out there in the football field.
Yeah,
we see it in the penalties and the penalties that really matter, that really hurt your team offensively. We see a lot of that. So right now, as I said, this offensive group hasn't found the rhythm that they need to have. That means when you play fast, when you play physical, when you play confident, you can just go. Things don't happen to you. You don't get holding penalties. You don't get illegal procedure penalties. You don't get wide receivers holding guys on quick screens and things like that. You play with confidence. And as I said, if you don't get confident this week, it's not showing up the following week.
Texas ranks in the 100s in way too many important statistical categories. And one of them is penalties, right? The Longhorns are 126th in the country.
Boy, that's hard to believe.
In penalty yards per game. There are only 136 teams in Division I FBS college football. So this team, I guess they were better. They had 12 penalties for 115 yards 2 weeks ago. Last year it was 7 penalties for 78 yards. So that's, I guess, a step in the right direction, but still too many against the teams that you're playing in non-conference.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's those non-conference games, BK, that how are you getting these penalties against Utah?
You can get away with them.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you're getting away with them and you're winning.
Yeah.
But you know, if you continue on this, you know, you just keep repeating these things over and over again, that which means that, boy, there's got to be an awful lot of yelling and craziness going on at practice. Because if you're doing it in the game, you do it at practice. I mean, it happens at practice too. And your coaches, and they have to correct it when it's on the football field. They can't correct it unless you come to the sideline in the game, because you just go, you know, just keep going and going. But at practice, boy, there's got to be lots of reps and lots of stoppage in practice and getting after guys. You would expect that's what happened.
You would think. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's a little more from Steve Sarkeesian. This is his opening statement from Thursday's press conference. And I want to play this now because he's talking about practice. He's talking about practice, man, in the words of AI. But here's Sark talking about his team's week of preparation and how they've looked a couple of days out of today's game.
You know, this is for our players and our team right now, this is an exciting week. You know, we're going into week 4, and this is our first night game. And, you know, for the bulk of our players, you know, growing up in the state of Texas, Friday night lights are such a big part of their experience of playing football. And so the opportunity to be under the lights at 7 o'clock at DKR Saturday night, I know one is that our players are looking forward to. I know our fans are looking forward to. So pumped about that. Also excited for our team. I mean, these guys have really been practicing their asses off. And it's not just the frontline units. It's all the way down through our scout teams. And, it's been a couple weeks now of them practicing that way. And I'm really proud of them that they just come right back to work. They stay connected. They continue to push one another. And that's what it takes, you know. And nobody said any of these things that we're doing would be easy, but in the end would be worth it if we continue to put forth the effort. And so, you know, the goal for me this week is that they take practice to the game and they trust their training and just go cut it loose and play the game of football the way I know they're capable of playing.
Yeah, you can only trust what the coach says. I mean, we don't get to go to practice, so if he says they're practicing well and they want to take what they do at practice to the games, we can only say we can't wait to see it. Because I really can't wait to see it.
Right.
I mean,
we've waited a long time.
Yes, we have. We waited a few weeks to see what you've taken. You know, you let us know on Thursdays how mentally prepared and ready to go. But when they get to the field on Saturdays, we haven't seen that. And this is, once again, this is kind of your last dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a true game. It's a true 11 on 11. The competition isn't that great, but the competition will start to ratchet up here after this week. But make sure that you get it done. You get it done tonight. As I said, it's for a lot of people, if you get 70-0, they're going to say, what does that prove? What will that prove to anybody? Well, it'll prove something to yourself, that some of that stuff that the head coach talked about, that you did take it from the practice field to the game time, no matter who you're playing against.
It might not prove a ton. You know what will prove a ton? Texas wins this game like 31-20. That'll prove that we might be in some trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If this game is like close,
if it's 27-10,
right,
it's going to prove a lot to a lot of people. Then you're going to have a real problem once you get to SEC play.
We're seeing offensive struggles. We're seeing quarterback struggles. We're seeing too many penalties. Like, if those things show up again, that'll be 4 times in a row. It's hard not to be a little spooked that could be seen all year long.
Well, yeah, when the competition really gets good.
For sure. I mean, tonight is a third of the season. We will be 1/3 of the way through the season after tonight's game. So if you go 33% of the season seeing the same not so good stuff, there's going to be a lot of folks questioning, all right, are we ever going to see this turn around, or is this just what this team is?
I'm hoping that's not what this team is. I truly am. I mean, and I'm like you. My expectations are you're going to drive this group from Sam Houston and the ghost of Sam Houston into the ground. I mean, it's just such a mismatch, but we'll know what good football is. And the people that are coming into this game tonight will know what they're watching. They'll know if they're watching good football, no matter who the competition is. You can tell if it's sloppy football, if it's football that's not coordinated very well. If you get in the red zone and kicking field goals instead of making touchdowns against Sam Houston, that's a problem.
Yeah, we're kind of giving a doomsday scenario, but I know you're confident. You texted me your score prediction earlier today. I know I'm confident. I know my own score prediction. So we're just saying, like, hey, worst case scenario, if Texas doesn't play a good game, those are the conversations that are going to be happening. And it's good news and bad news that you don't play next week, right? If things don't look great tonight, okay, you've got 2 weeks to get ready for SEC play. But also, if things don't look great tonight, you got 2 weeks of dealing with questions from everybody about what this team really is.
Yeah, and then the next time you'll be playing against Florida in the swamp.
Yep.
And that's a hard proving ground right there. No matter how bad they're playing, that's a home game, and that's one of those must kind of wins for them and for their head coach to keep his game. We'll find that out tonight, because if they get blasted tonight, there's no telling what's going on. Just like college football today, there's a lot of people whose teams are getting smoked right now. And it started early this morning, so a lot of things. Oh, it started last night, as a matter of fact.
Mike Gundy?
Yeah, Mike Gundy is Dundee. I gotta believe. He's about to get a Dundee for sure.
Yeah, we'll get to our scoreboard updates powered by our friends at Gobundance a little bit later in the show. But Oklahoma State losing at home to Tulsa on a Friday night.
Wow.
I'm the man. I'm fired is about to be the new press conference slogan for Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I don't know much about Tulsa. But I know they should have won that game.
Yeah, it's a game Oklahoma State should always win.
Yes.
Always win. All right, so we'll go around the country. Plenty of action going on right now. Of course, a couple of finals from earlier today. But diving back into Texas and Sam Houston, obviously talking about the Longhorn offense. Buck, Sam Houston's 0-3 this year. Everything about them has looked bad so far. But I think the worst part of Sam Houston in their 0-3 start is their pass defense. And we've gone through these numbers on our show this week, but it bears repeating for those who are tuned in for the first time. Out of 136 teams in Division I college football, Sam Houston ranks 133rd in passing yards per game allowed, 131st in passing touchdowns allowed, and 119th in explosive passing plays allowed. I could give you about 7 or 8 more numbers that say just how bad this Sam Houston secondary is, but we'll stop right there. This is as golden of an opportunity. If you're scripting the perfect chance for Arch Manning to look really good, it's at home against this type of team. Everything is set up for him to look like the guy that we hope to see.
Yeah, this is a game that he shouldn't look nervous. He should look poised. He should go out there and feel confident, because, as you said, they're not going to lose this football game. It's how they win this football game tonight. Maybe it's more about how they win the game.
Yeah,
they're going to win the game, but it's how they win the football game tonight. And some of the things that are miscues right now. Do you get a chance? You get a chance to fix those over the next 2 weeks. But in live competition, as I said, it doesn't matter who's on the other side. What do you look like against that other side? I mean, can you get 4 or 5 series where you go right down the field, score touchdowns, look good, guys not dropping balls, but guys in the right spots? Once again, it's not all about the quarterback. But I'll say this: right now in this football team, it starts with the quarterback.
It does. Absolutely.
It really does.
We're looking for better decision making.
Yes.
We're looking for more confidence from Arch Manning. It just feels like he hasn't been confident in himself. Too often, his eyes have been in the right spot. It looks like he's looking exactly where he needs to throw the football, but he just doesn't throw it. And then there are other times where he does throw it, and the ball is 5 yards short, 5 yards to the right, 5 yards to the left. Obviously, some accuracy issues there, but it just feels like Arch Manning right now is kind of lacking confidence. You can't have that going into SEC play. So like you said, this is your last chance to build some of that against another team before your schedule gets a hell of a lot tougher.
Yeah, and as you said, you got a week off after this. You go here, you play well, you get away from football for a couple of days. Watch the film about 30 times.
Yeah.
You meet with your coaches, but you don't have to hit the field. You're going to get a couple of days off. So this is a fantastic opportunity for the entire offense. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will get cut a break if you go and do pretty well here tonight. And then, as I said, you'll have off for a week, BK.
Yep.
Everything will chill out for a little bit. But let me tell you something. You go out here and play sloppy and crappy, that week off, there may be less time that you think you're going to have off.
I don't want to hear any boos in DKR
Oh, my
today.
goodness. I don't think that's going to –
I don't want that thought to cross anybody's mind today.
Well, you have to play really poorly in order to do that today.
Yeah. Last week.
As I said, this team is, as you said, when you got a team in the hundreds in just about every category, that is, especially on the defensive side, that there's no way in a team like Texas, even playing the way they played, shouldn't score 40 points against them.
Yeah, it's the worst team on Texas's schedule this year. And we gave you some of the passing defense numbers, but you look at some of the overall defensive numbers for the Bearkats. They are 130th in scoring defense and 125th in total defense. That means yards per game. So
this is one you can underestimate your opponent and still kick the crap out of them.
That's the thing, right? Like if Texas plays a bad game today, I think they win 38-3.
Yes.
If they play a good game, this could be like 51-0.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think everybody wants. But yeah, the talent gap between these two teams, even if Texas does commit a bunch of penalties, even if they continue to struggle on third down and don't punch it in the red zone, obviously those aren't things that we're looking for. But the talent gap alone should mean an easy victory for Texas.
Yeah, and I expect to see a couple of young runners today have an opportunity to get it done. And it doesn't matter. And I don't mean in fourth quarter play. I mean early in the game. You're going to see some young guys in there get their opportunity to carry the football. And even if you don't have great line blocking today, you'll have guys that are bigger and stronger on your offensive line. So there should be some creases for these guys to run in.
I said that last week.
Yeah, I did too.
And there weren't enough. This is the third week in a row where Texas is going up against an undersized defensive line.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see more than one 15-yard run today.
It would be. Yeah, Texas has just one 15-yard run from a running back this season. The longest run of the year is by the quarterback, Arch Manning, who had that 20-yard touchdown scamper against Sam Houston State a couple of weeks ago. But it'd be nice to see the Texas run game get going. No C.J. Baxter. Trey Wisner is doubtful. I would be shocked if we see Trey Wisner play in today's game. So it will be the three-headed monster, should we call him that, of Christian Clark, Jarrett Gibson,
and
James
Boys.
Simon.
The Pep Boys are back.
You call them the Pep Boys. I was being a little more optimistic going with three-headed monster.
Yeah, the Pep Boys.
You're trying to put them,
Mo and Jack are in there today.
You're putting them as car mechanics. But
that's okay.
We got some more sound from Steve Sarkeesian here because, look, it's no secret. I mean, Arch Manning is struggling a little bit. Last week, just 11 of 25. Had that stretch of 10 straight incomplete passes, only 114 yards passing for Arch against the Miners, and he didn't crack 100 yards until midway through the fourth quarter. Sark was asked this week if Texas maybe will lean on its run game a little bit, both with the quarterback and with the running backs as well. Here's what the head coach had to say to that.
Obviously, we leaned into him running the ball a little bit more. And again, as I said Saturday, I think we're going to have to wrap our brains around that's kind of part of our offense is utilizing the quarterback run game. Some games will require more than others. I think we were intentionally Saturday. I needed to find out about these other three kids running the ball. With Jarek and Christian and obviously James Simon, with Trey down and with Cedric down, finding out about them. I think the style of defense dictates some of that too. It was a bunch of three safety, don't give up deep balls against us. And so, running the ball was advantageous. I felt like we left a lot of meat on the bone in the run game. We probably should have had more yardage there than we did. And that's something that'll be a point of emphasis this week if we get a similar style defense. And so I think it all adds up to yes. I mean, you're always trying to manage in game and adapt in game to what is occurring. You lose the running back the first play of the game. They come out and play a different defense. Your quarterback's struggling a little bit. Naturally, you gravitate more to running the ball. And a lot of times it doesn't feel as sexy. It doesn't feel as exciting. But there was a lot to gain from that game for our players to learn from and how to strain, how to finish in the run game and to do the things that we need to do. So we're going to need our run game. I think we're making good strides, but I think it can be better. And so that's our challenge, is to improve that.
When he says they left a lot of meat on the bone, I think he left about 1.5 pounds of ribeye, boneless ribeye, out there last week. Over the last couple of weeks, you've had an opportunity to run some teams into the ground, and it hadn't got done. So I don't know. This is a game for me that, if Arch Manning takes off and runs with the football in a, scramble situation, and he feels like he's going to go with it, that's fine. I don't want to have a bunch of set runs for him. If he needs to have his head banged in a little bit, hit your head against the side of the wall before you go out to the field if you need to be banged around. He doesn't need to be banged up in this game. They need a healthy guy that can go, as I said, really get ready, for league play, have a week off, watch a lot of film, get himself mentally set. But he doesn't need to run in there and have some guy hit him tonight. I don't want to see a lot of Arch Manning. I want to see some Arch Manning run when it just happens naturally. I don't want call plays. You didn't like a lot of call. I don't want them tonight. This is my night where I don't want to see a bunch of them.
It's kind of a double-edged sword here for Steve Sarkeesian, right? Because I would argue that the most consistent element of the Texas offense.
Or he's the best running back.
Well, yeah, it's the best part of the offense. Not only is he the best-looking runner, but he's not throwing the ball well. So the best thing that the Texas offense has done this year is run Arch Manning. But on the other hand, you're 40-point favorites today. You don't want your quarterback taking a lot of unnecessary hits.
No, he should be, if he wants to throw the ball down the field, and the other runners, the young guys, they need to be the guys running the ball today. Every once in a while, Arch will take off and go. But I don't need 3rd and 3 and have set run for him. Give it to a running back.
Here's the problem with that. We're all looking for confidence. We want the offense to have confidence going into
whatever it
SEC
takes.
play.
You're right.
So what gives you the most confidence that you can move the ball, sustain drives, and score points?
Him taking off and running.
It might be that. So that's the crossroads. Because I think Sark agrees with you. I think he's like, man, we don't need the quarterback run game here. We can beat this team with anybody out there running the football. But I think he's like, okay,
But in a couple of weeks, we won't be playing this kind of team.
Exactly. What is going to give my quarterback and my team some confidence that we can take this offense on the road against much better competition?
It's intriguing that I don't think anybody that is listening to us or going to the game tonight ever thought this season's start would be this way after into game 4, thinking about what the hell. I mean, even after the Ohio State game when Arch looked a little nervous, he still got some things done. The team, the defense, the offense ran for 166 yards. I never thought we'd be at this point of the season. As you said, a quarter way into the season, we were wondering about the quarterback, the running back, the wide receivers, and the offensive line. We're still looking at that in the 4th game and trying to figure out which group is playing well right now on this offense. And none of them are.
No, and it's like the old Mac Brown thing where he would say, don't let one loss beat you twice. Almost looks like the Texas offense has let the Ohio State performance beat them now 3 times.
I mean, being so disappointed in
it's like they haven't really bounced back from that. And look, that was obviously
I never thought about it that way. I never thought about it how much that loss in the beginning of the season hurt this offensive football team, because they, in that game, they knew that if they got to over 100 yards in rushing, I mean, you got to 166. You should have not only been in that game, you probably should have won that game.
Probably should have won that game.
And that's probably, that may have weighed, but that's some of that maturity stuff that, football season, there's a lot of games in a football season.
Right.
And you can't let that happen to you.
And that was obviously a disappointing loss.
Sure.
Right? We felt like Texas had a good chance to go win that game. But all right, you lose to the defending champs at their house in week 1 with a bunch of new players on your team.
And you don't have a mature quarterback.
Right.
You've got a named quarterback, but he hasn't been there enough to get over the first game hump and bring the rest of the team with him.
That's the thing that I like.
That's very interesting you said that, because I never looked at it from that point of how disappointing that game 1 loss would be, and they really haven't overcome that offensively.
Yeah, and it's like in game too. It's week over week, but also in game, it feels like the first sign of adversity that this team faces on offense.
And we've seen it, and we continue to see that.
Yeah, so that's look. Hopefully, you don't see a lot of adversity tonight. Again, you're massive favorites. You shouldn't. But, all right, if Arch does have a stretch of 2 or 3 incomplete passes in a row, it can't snowball into 10.
No.
Like it did last week. It's got to be, all right, like, hey, those guys are on scholarship too. Got to bounce back. Okay, let's put this bad series behind us. What can we do the next time we're out on the field? That's what we need to see more of tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I don't think you're going to have many of those times where they're going to be disappointed or have to bounce back tonight. They're just such a better team.
Yeah.
By
the way, going back to the Arch Manning run game nugget that we were talking about, last week, Arch Manning had 7 designed runs for 49 yards, 7 yards a carry. But the 7 is the noteworthy part there, because that's the most quarterback runs that Steve Sarkeesian has called in over a decade, either as a head coach or as an offensive coordinator. So he was breaking some tendency, I think, because he didn't really trust his passing game very much. So that's why I wonder, are we going to see more of that tonight, or is it we got to protect Arch Manning, let's do less of that?
You know what? I expected to see that in the beginning of the season, and I was thinking by this time of the season we wouldn't see a lot of that run. But
We were hoping we wouldn't need it.
No,
that's the thing.
But he is the best runner that they have. I mean, bar any of the guys right now, we haven't seen much of Trey Wisner, but bar the other guys right now, he's the best runner they have. And what do you do to get the team going? He's got to be the guy to run the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't like it in this particular game. I liked it in Ohio State and even the other games when he ran naturally. But like you said, to give him 7 running plays, that kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, 7 designed running plays.
Yes.
He had 9 carries for the game. A couple of those he took off and ran. But, 7 designed runs for Arch Manning.
Well, I'll just say this. If the guy's not going to complete pass, well, let's go. Run the ball.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to get your offense going, do it. And if that's going to be it for the year, I mean, he's going to get a bunch of headaches in the SEC if he takes off and run, because it won't be the San Jose States or the UTEPs that he's playing against or the Sam Houstons from this point on. He's going to get knocked around a little bit, but it's not like he's not John Mateer. He's not some little guy. He's not a little 6-foot guy, 180 pounds. He's a big old dude. He can get and he's got enough ability to make you miss and do some things and get your first downs. I guess, when Sark says, let Arch be Arch, I think that's a part of his game now.
Yeah.
Just let him be himself and
Sure.
let him go. If he wants to take off, go ahead. I mean, the coaches can talk about, you know what, you didn't have to take off that time. You could have thrown the ball down the field. Why are you running with the ball? Because that's what Sark wants. Sark wants to see his glorified offense throwing the ball down the field.
Of course.
He doesn't want to see his quarterback running down the field for 30 when he can throw for 60. So I think this is a game to get. Yeah, this is a get well game.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about a 30-yard Arch Manning run, but I'd rather have a 60-yard Arch Manning bomb to somebody else.
And by the way, you're going to need some of those 30-yard Arch
Yeah.
Manning runs too as the season goes on against the competition you're going to play.
You might. All right, we are here at Scholz Garten, the Texas Sports Unfiltered pregame show, brought to you by our friends at Covert Bee Cave and Audio-Visual Consultations. Come on by. We are giving away a free pair of Ariat boots and denim, totally free to enter. Just go see Mason and
Put your
Nicole.
name in there. That's
next
all you need
us.
to do.
That's all you have to do. We will do the drawing right before we're done at 6:30. You do not have to be here to win. You have to sign up here, but just leave your number with us. If you're a good-looking woman. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, and there are a lot of those tonight.
Yeah.
My, oh, my.
Hey, your eyes are open today.
Oh, yeah.
We're paying attention.
Oh, yeah, backache and all. Who cares?
Hey, you perked up a little bit today.
Yeah, man. Forget the pain.
I like that. It's a great crowd. It's Austin, Texas. The most beautiful people in the world live here.
Absolutely. And like I said, what a great night for football.
Great night for football. Not seeing a lot of Sam Houston orange tonight.
No.
I am hoping, I don't know if anybody does this in Huntsville, where Sam Houston University is located. You think people actually dress up as Sam Houston for their home games? Like, I would love to see someone in a full-on Sam Houston costume tonight.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like rooting for Sam Houston. I feel like that's the ultimate way to support your team, you know?
What a good call.
Yeah, I need some of that.
Yeah, they need that.
They dropped a state. Now they are just Sam Houston University.
And they're 0-3.
So they are named after a dead guy.
And they're 0-3.
They are 0-3. Yes, they are 0-3. And they played 3 not-so-good teams so far this year. Sam Houston won 10 games last year. They were 10-3 in 2024.
Yeah, they were in the thick of their conference. They played some really good football last year. They did.
They lost their head coach. They lost pretty much their entire coaching staff. They lost
the players. They took off and went to.
Yeah, a bunch of players to the portal. So it's a lot of new. It's a massive overhaul for Sam Houston. And again, there's so much new there. It's taken them a while to get their feet under them. I still don't think they have their feet under them. So it's a golden opportunity for Texas. All right, you are the running backs coach, Buck. We were talking a little bit about the Texas running backs, but assuming we do not see Trey Wisner and C.J. Baxter, those other 3 guys, the Pep Boys, as you like to call them, Christian Clark, Jarrett Gibson, and James Simon, the true freshman who got his first snaps as a Texas Longhorn in the win over UTEP 7 days ago. What do you like from those guys, and what do you see more? What do you want to see more of from those guys tonight?
As the season goes on, when the other 2 guys get healthy and get rid of those hamstring injuries, I like to see more 2-back sets with guys in the backfield. And because me, I've come to the point where I think that Gibson is a fullback more than a tailback. So do some fullback type of things, H-back type of things with him. He's athletic enough to slide out of the backfield, make a catch for you, get you some first downs that may be a little different than using 2 tight end sets every once in a while. Get yourself with 2 backs. Get yourself in a situation where if you have to max protect, he's a part of that. I think he's a straight line runner. I don't see a lot of wiggle from him, and that's okay. Some teams need a straight line guy. This team's got too many of them. That's the problem. I see more straight line guys. Christian Clark, I haven't seen that burst, and maneuverability that they talked about seeing, when he first got there. But once again, I give a lot of credit to that guy coming off an Achilles tear. He's out here playing football a year later, less than a year later. That guy's actually playing football. So where he is in his game, that's incredible, I think. C.J. Baxter, knock on wood, but I got a feeling throughout his career we're going to hear a lot of C.J. won't be available for this. I've been around running backs like that, and he just comes across to me as one of those guys. I've seen him limped up and lame way too often, and it's not him. It's just, as I said, it just happens to some guys. Some guys can overcome it. Maybe he will, but for me, it's hard for me to depend on guys like that. Trey Wisner, you and I were just totally surprised when we found out a couple of weeks ago he wasn't even playing in the game. Just before the game, we found out he's not playing. I'm like, what the hell happened to this guy during the week? I thought everything was good.
Right.
And now he's got a soft tissue deal with his hamstring. So I think they're good backs. I don't think there's not a Texas type of back right now that we're used to seeing, because the ones that we're expecting to see like that are banged up, and the ones that we haven't got enough of haven't got it done.
Yeah.
Gibson will be. I think Sark will really give Gibson an opportunity against this team. But for me, I don't know what this will. Once again, what will this prove if this kid runs all over Sam Houston State? It'll help. It'll help. Yeah,
I'd like to see that tonight.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they can't grab the flag and pull the flag from him, or they just can't tackle him because he's so big, that will be okay. It's that following week and weeks to come that. Like I said, I like to see him in a two-back set,
right,
where he's doing a little bit of blocking, and I know we're not going to see it.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of 20 personnel, 21 personnel.
Yeah, because I like to see the quarterback underneath the center every once in a while, right, with a running back coming downhill.
We have seen more of that this year, which is nice. I would be opposed to seeing more of it moving forward. So that's a little wrinkle in this 2025 Texas offense. But, yeah, I don't know if it has to do with all of the injuries to the tailback position, but we haven't seen a lot of two backs on the field at the same time.
Well, as I was so surprised last year when you told me that Trey Wisner had 44 catches.
He did.
We haven't seen a lot of these guys come out of the backfield and get a little dump off and go, or a dead up screen immediately. Just swing it out there to them like a toss sweep and let them go. And that's where a guy like Christian Clark, I would expect that if he's that good, we need to see more of that. And as for the freshman, as much as he carried the ball last week, BK, he's the guy who's got a little wiggle to him. He's got a little spurt to him. And I think Sark was trying to find that out last week.
Yeah.
When I thought Sark should have been throwing the ball and getting his quarterback right, he was trying to get the running back right because he knows I got to have somebody. If Baxter's going to be out for a while, if Trey Wisner's going to be out for a while, Sark already knows what he has in Gibson. He knows what kind of back he is. The running back coach knows what kind of guy he is. They know enough about Christian Clark to know that this guy is coming off an Achilles tear. He's just getting himself going.
Yep.
If he's got all these things they say, it's just not showing up yet. But, dude, it's not all of a sudden going to show up in the SEC. You know that, right?
Right.
You know that with this offensive line.
I do.
All of a sudden, it's not going to show up at Georgia. It's not going to show up against Mississippi State. It's not showing up against Florida. It's got to show up tonight.
I think we.
It should have shown up.
It should have already shown up.
Yeah.
And it's weird because
what they did against Ohio State, it's hard to believe.
Their best running game of the season was on the road at Ohio State. And that was one of our positive takeaways from that game is like, all right, well, we didn't win, but this run game looks really good. And, even though Jaden Blue's gone and even though 4 offensive linemen from last year are gone, it looks like this run game can be reliable all season long. And then the last 2 weeks happened where you ran the ball worse, and it's like, all right, here we are again. And, again, Trey Wisner has not played in either of the last 2 weeks. So that's something that we've learned that we thought we knew going into the year. We thought that Trey Wisner was this team's best running back.
Sure.
We've learned for sure that Trey Wisner is this team's best running back. So you're kind of hoping to see a little bit more from the other guys than what we've seen so far.
And, who could help out the other guys? The guys on the offensive line can help those guys out.
Yeah.
They can make me really, truly look like I don't know what I'm talking about. They should be punishing teams like San Jose State. They should be punishing guys from UTEP. I know they got scholarships over there too, but this offensive line, they went out and got enough defensive line, and they didn't get any offensive line, and they believe in bringing them in from high school and Coach Flood coaching them up. I just don't see the dominating. Well, one guy's pretty good. Tackle's pretty good. The rest of them are just kind of average right now, not making things happen. So running backs can help them out. They can help out the running back.
You're right. Yeah,
so
Trevor Goosby's looked like the real deal at left tackle.
Yes, he has.
Doesn't surprise anybody with the way he ended last season. but the other 4 offensive linemen have all left a lot to be desired at times. DJ Campbell's been a penalty machine. Brandon Baker at right tackle has not looked like the 5-star that he was coming out of high school. Connor Stroh was very impressive against Ohio State, but he really has struggled these last 2 weeks. And then Cole Hudson. We'll see if Cole Hudson plays. He got hurt last week.
Right.
A little bit of an ankle twist. Steve Sarkeesian called him questionable. He's this team's starting center, so we'll see if he goes. If not, it'll be Connor Robertson at center and some more tweaking.
Yeah, give me some mix and match here tonight against this team. You should.
That's the thing. It's like 4 of the 5 offensive linemen played every single snap last week against UTEP, and the only one who didn't was Cole Hudson because he got hurt. And that wasn't because –
No, that's because the coaches were pissed.
Right. It wasn't, oh, these guys are so good. Like, we got to leave them out there. It was like, well, these guys aren't good enough.
Yeah.
We got to get them to figure it out because
those weren't happy coaches.
We think these are going to be our starting 5 when we get to the SEC. And it's like, man, I wonder if, you should be mixing and matching a little bit more. Because I wonder if the 5 that you want to be your best 5 are actually your best 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is and I think we all know this is such a rhythm game tonight. You get into a rhythm and get this team going downhill against Sam Houston. That Sam Houston has a problem. They will have a problem. They should have a problem. It's not if they get going. They should get going, and they will have a problem tonight.
So here's the thing, right? I fully expect Sam Houston to implement a similar defensive game plan that both UTEP and San Jose State did. That's a lot of 3 high safety looks. Like, they don't want to get beat over the top by all of Texas's athletes.
They got one of the worst secondaries in the country.
Exactly. So they're going to put 3 safeties over the top to make sure that they don't get crushed by big plays. And, hey, you got to nickel and dime your way down the field if you want to beat us. That means you should be able to run the ball very easily. They are giving you a light box. You've got better athletes. You're bigger than them. You're stronger than them. You should have no problem. They are daring you to run.
And that's exactly what you should do.
You should be running, and Texas is running. The problem is they're not actually running it well. So I expect, again, Sam Houston's going to give that look a lot tonight. That might be their base defense tonight. If they're daring you to run, you have to run it, and you have to run it effectively.
Yeah, we'll find an awful lot about the individual running backs tonight. Once again, this is against a team that they, even if it's not blocked properly, and guys, but as you said, I mean, this gap control, trying to do some new things that you've seen on film, and that's not been what you really, really do. Boy, that can be a problem against a team like Texas. You get out of a gap that you're supposed to be in, man. You should get punished for doing that.
Yeah. And there hasn't been enough of that so far. It's either the offensive line isn't blocking well, and when they are blocking well, the running backs aren't. Texas, there are 16 teams in the SEC. The Longhorns rank 15th in yards after contact per attempt. So you're talking about guys not breaking up tackles, these running backs not being explosive enough, not making their own home runs. That's a part of it right there. Again, the offensive line hasn't been as good as we would like. Also, the running backs aren't breaking enough tackles either, and that's why this run game is just kind of stuck in the mud right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to continue to recruit great runners, and they will. They'll continue to do it, whether it's in the state of Florida, whether it's in Texas. But to me, every year used to have one of the best come here. They should show up here and really push everybody, even starters. They should push them from the beginning. Great high school player, great high school running back could come here right now and get some things done.
Maybe that's James Simon. I know he's not in high school anymore.
That's right.
I really like what I saw from him last
week.
He's
got a little explosion to him.
So I'm sure he's going to get a lot of carries today. Again, with the
I think he will.
Running backs out.
Yeah, and I think Sark. That's why he got all those carries last week.
Yeah.
As I said, that was the time I thought that Art should have got out of his funk, giving him a chance to throw. Keep throwing. He was giving it to Simons. I think so. This is a game where he'll be in kind of early and often.
I think you're right. Yeah. Most of what we saw from James Simon a week ago was in the second half.
Yes.
And it was the 3rd running back to see the field. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there a lot earlier tonight. And, maybe he could be that running back to get this run game in gear. All right, it's time for our offensive player of the game prediction. Of course, we'll talk about the wide receivers. We'll talk more about Arch Manning. We'll continue to try to figure out what this offense can do and what they need to do to get things rolling tonight. But I'll go to you first. Our offensive player of the game brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill.
Love the Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. I'm going to have to choose Arch Manning. I mean, if there's anybody that needs to get going, and even against competition like this, it's your quarterback. He's the guy who's in the funk. He's the guy who can control getting a lot of guys out of their funk by what he does. So putting a defense in bad situations and then having the running backs do what they need to do. But it's about the quarterback. And this is a guy who needs to get cranking. Because if he doesn't, even if there's a running back that does some great things tonight, and the quarterback still has that kind of game that we've been seeing from him, that's going to be a problem for the rest of the season. He has that has to all end tonight. He has to be a guy who throws for 4 or 5 touchdowns, BK, who throws the ball for over 300 yards tonight against this defense. If he doesn't throw for over 300 yards against this defense, this is catchy catch right here.
Should be.
You know, this is a great opportunity for him. This is, you know, he can, you know, get the poise back, get the confidence back, get the deer in the headlight look, get all of that away from him tonight. So I expect for him to be the MVP on offense tonight.
Last week it was 114 yards passing for Arch Manning against Utah.
That ought to be first quarter passing time.
That'd be nice.
Yes.
I like that. 114 in the first quarter, and then you go from there.
Sure.
I like that pick. I'm going to go with James Simon. We just talked about him for a few minutes again. I think
you know
right.
He's going to sparkle tonight, don't you?
I think you're right. I think he's going to be in the game earlier, and I think he's going to be used often in this ground attack. And I think he could be a little bit of a difference maker, too, in the passing game. You know, I read a report during fall camp. Someone said James Simon is a better Jarrett Gibson with better hands. It's like, all right, like that's good. Like, he's already passed up a year 2 guy, and you're telling me he could be a threat in the receiving game because Jarrett Gibson isn't great at that. So that's like, there's been a lot of praise. James Simon wasn't one of the highest recruited guys that Texas signed in this number 1 ranked recruiting class.
Yeah, he's not a straight liner. He can make you miss.
Man, there was a lot of praise for him in the spring, into the summer, and into the fall. And I think, bold prediction here, Buck, I think a running back scores a touchdown tonight for Texas.
Yes, you expecting 1. I'm taking 3.
It hasn't happened yet this year. I think James Simon gets into the end zone a couple of times tonight,
awesome.
And I think he goes for over 100 yards. We're still waiting for a Texas tailback to go over the century mark in any game this season. So I'm going to say James Simon goes for over 100, and he goes for 2 touchdowns in a Texas victory.
You know the 3 games that they played. You're talking about licking your chops as a running back.
Yeah.
My goodness.
They're not licking hard enough.
No, they're not.
Be careful saying something like that in public.
Yeah.
It's a weird
They're
thing
not
to
licking
say.
their chops at all right now.
No.
They should be.
No. So I'm going with James Simon. You're going with Arch Manning. Those are our offensive player of the game predictions brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill.
Love the Moonshine. Cocktails for over 20 years. 2 great locations, 1 downtown and then 1 out at Avery Ranch. And Dad's in town.
Come on.
Daddy's in town. Parents' weekend. Head on over to Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Get Dad to open up the wallet and watch the card fly.
Yeah, Mom too.
Mom too. She's got the card.
This is equal opportunity.
Yeah, she's got it. If she brought that extra card with her, we'll use 2 up for the apartment.
Parents' weekend.
Parents' weekend. Bring everybody to dinner.
Yeah, and if your parents are in from like Dallas or Houston, invite all of the out-of-state students to come with you.
Yeah.
Their parents aren't here, so say, look, come hang out with my parents. They'll buy you a meal.
Great brunch. Now, they got some construction down there, but folks, they got their own parking lot. So
They do.
they'll get you in there, and they'll get you out there, and you'll love the meal, and you'll love the brunch over the Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill.
Unbelievable weekend brunch. Yep, you're looking for a place to go tomorrow morning before you skip town. Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Like you said, more than 20 years of serving up Central Texas. Go to moonshinegrill.com for more information or to make a reservation.
For sure.
All right, so let's we haven't talked about the wide receivers, Buck. We'll continue the Texas offense talk before we get over to the defense. Again, just like last week when Rodney and I were here together, we didn't spend much time talking about the Texas defense, and I don't want that to come as a slight. It's the opposite of that. It's like, we know they're so good, we expect them to get the job done. We're not trying to really figure a whole lot out on that side of the football. We're trying to figure out how the offense can join the defense as an elite unit right now.
Yeah, well, there's only one thing truly missing to me in the defense is the fact that some of the individuals aren't having outstanding individual games yet.
Yeah.
And as I said,
Colin Simmons.
yeah, well, what are you waiting for?
Right.
I mean, really, what are some of these defenders waiting for? You know, Manny Muhammad is supposed to be more of a ball hawk. What are we waiting for? How about some interceptions? You know,
It'd be nice.
it'd be nice to get that done, because these are the teams that these are when you get those things done.
I want more sacks.
Yeah, I do too.
That's the one thing I think this defense hasn't quite done well enough at.
They have got pressures. They've got some push in the front.
And I think it's been tough because I think every one of Texas's opponents, they made it a concerted effort to get the ball out of their quarterback's hands quickly.
Absolutely.
So, if they're throwing it in 2 seconds, it doesn't matter who you have coming off the edge. That's not enough time to get to the QB. but maybe tonight you'll get a few more opportunities. It's tough because Phil Longo runs the air raid, and a big part of his offense is getting the ball out of his quarterback's hands quickly.
Well, definitely get your hands up, get some tip balls.
But that'd be nice. Like, there are still plenty of ways you can impact the game as a defensive line,
no doubt.
Even if the sack numbers aren't coming together. So hopefully they do get a couple of sacks. Hopefully when the opportunities present themselves, they can make some things happen. But, yeah, like tip passes, those can turn into interceptions right there. There's other things that that group can do a little bit better. Back to the offense, though. DeAndre Moore will be back tonight. That's the good news, right? We're looking for anything we can find in this passing game. Ryan Wingo.
We barely got a chance to know you, Andre. We barely got a chance.
Right. Oh, you're dropping the D from his name. Now he's just Andre Moore.
Andre, we barely got a chance to know you.
Well,
and now you've disappeared again.
Yeah, he missed last week's game with a concussion. He's out of the protocol. He's been practicing all week. Here's Steve Sarkeesian on Thursday talking about the return of DeAndre Moore and what he can provide this Texas offense.
Oh, he definitely brings the juice. He's a Energizer bunny. He's one of the few guys really that was a mainstay starter for us a year ago, that has played a lot of football and has a lot of confidence and can fix things on the field when maybe something's a little bit off because of his experience of lining a guy up or making sure a certain guy's running a certain route or, recognition of coverages, when the ball snapped. And so, his experience is invaluable. Obviously, his confidence, I think, uplifts a lot of confidence in other players that are on the field with him, and not only on game day, but to your point, in practice and in the meeting room. So I do think it'll be great to have him back.
They need him. He has to show up for the games.
Yeah.
They really do. We saw him last year when he had a real good game, and then we saw him get a foot injury, and then that's when we hardly knew him. Now it's back to that point again this year. We're seeing a lot of good things about him, but he's got a concussion. I mean, that's part of the game. You get a concussion, you miss a week or two, and now you're back out there. He can do the best thing he can do to help his team is be there. You always talk about it's great to have the confidence. It's great to be there, but in order to help your team, you can't be sidelined. You got to be out there.
Right.
You can do all these things at practice, but you got to show up for the game and be physically ready to play. So
that helps.
They need him. They really, if all the things that Sark says, he really helps out things and calms things down, then that'll show tonight. 6
catches for 36 yards on the season for DeAndre Moore. Again, he did not play last week, and he left the San Jose State game a little early, so not obviously a full slate of games for DeAndre Moore, but he was a guy, very confident in the offseason, talking about wanting to go for over 1,000 yards, wanting to be a finalist for the Biletnikoff Trophy, and obviously so far it hasn't happened for him. So
yeah, and as for the other guy, Ryan Wingo, it's just I don't know what to expect from him. I don't know. He hasn't got to the point of being a consistent wide receiver, so he needs to do that. He needs to get to that point where every route he runs is a really good route. Whether he gets the ball or not, you turn on the film on Sunday nights, you see, well, that's a really nice route. You did what you needed to do. Ball come to you. Continue to get better every practice, every time you play, but you got to be consistent with your hands and catching the ball. That guy should be your team leader right now.
Yeah,
offensively.
Maybe I'm grasping for straws here. I think every Texas fan is a little bit trying to, find things to be excited about with the offense. That touchdown that Arch Manning threw to Ryan Wingo,
the low pass that he picked up and caught
towards the end of the game.
Yeah,
that was a perfect ball. That was a perfect route. That was a perfect ball, and it was Wingo's first touchdown of the year. And there were 3 Ryan Wingo catches last week. Right?
Yes.
For the first 2.5 games, it was obvious the chemistry between Arch Manning and Ryan Wingo just wasn't there. So I'm hoping with what we saw in the second half against UTEP that maybe those guys found something that will translate over to this game.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, that'd be nice. And Arch Manning ended the game pretty strong last week. Again, it was a horrible game if you look at the entirety of it, but he did finish relatively strong throwing the football. And again, it felt like there was some connection between him and Ryan Wingo that we've been looking for. So can those guys build off of that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a running back having a great day, one of those guys needs to go over 100 too, or 2 of those wide receivers today.
Yeah,
that needs to happen for this offense to get cranking. Guys have to the one-on-one battles, the individual battles versus this group. You see a lot of balls going down the field.
It's funny going back and watching some of Sam Houston. Like, we've talked about how many explosive plays they've given up through the air. They are, even when they play off coverage, they get beat.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, that's how bad their athletes are. Like, they could literally be sagging, 10, 15 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
3 deep coverage, run as fast as you can backwards, and turn and go,
Yeah.
they still get beat.
And it hasn't mattered for them. So there should be some big plays. Again, we saw it in that 5-minute stretch against San Jose State where Texas had a bunch of big plays. Obviously, you had that 83-yard touchdown from Arch to Parker Livingston in there as well. You should see more of that. We're talking about explosive runs. You should see way more of that in the passing game today,
There's
too.
no doubt about that.
You've got enough speed. You've got enough talent on the outside. No, you don't have a Xavier Worthy. You don't have a Matthew Golden. You don't have that first-round receiver right now, but there's still more than enough talent in this game.
No, Parker Dartmouth is getting it done.
Parker Dartmouth, as you call him.
He's getting it done.
Is he a smart guy?
He's a smart guy. He's a long guy. He makes the catches. He gets open, and he will. I think I can almost put him in that category of some of the receivers they had over the last 2 years. It doesn't have to be thrown perfectly because he'll go get it.
Yeah.
He'll find a way to go down low and get it. If it's near the ground, he'll get to the ground, roll his body, get his hands underneath him. He's about to catch first. He really is. And then he's got a little bit of ability once he catches the ball. But I like the fact that if the ball isn't perfectly thrown, BK, he'll put his body in position. I'm going to make that catch. That's my ball.
I love what I've seen from him so far.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And Parker Livingston only had 2 catches last week. I think on only 3
and that surprises me.
Yeah, only 3 targets as well. And it's like, he clearly has been the best receiver that you've had so far. I thought we would see Sark maybe make more of a conscious effort to get the ball into number 13's hands. And last week, again, he just wasn't a huge part of the game plan. Now, nothing was really working for Texas through the air. But I thought they'd go out of their way to force feed Parker Livingston a little bit.
Right.
Didn't quite feel like that was the case.
Well, you can force feed. You can do whatever you want against this group. Everybody needs to eat tonight.
Be nice. Yeah, it's night time. It's dinner time.
Yeah.
Everybody should be hungry.
Everybody should be hungry. Everybody in this offensive, if you're an offensive player tonight, as I said, this should totally be stat night right here.
It's your last home game
Oh, my goodness.
for a month and a half. The next time Texas will be playing a game at DKR will be in the month of November. Remember, they are off next week. Then you've got the crazy October.
We don't even get trick-or-treat here?
No, well, it's the day after trick-or-treat, November 1st. So Friday is October 31st, and then that Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Really? The day after Halloween, we got to do an 11 a.m. kick, SEC. You kidding me? But that's Vandy. That's the next home game that Texas has. So it's 3 road games, and then obviously the OU game in October.
You're saying Patio comes here in the morning, early morning?
Patio comes here. Maybe he'll still be hungover. Maybe he'll still be drunk from the night before. Got to get that guy on 6th Street.
My goodness.
That dude, Vandy looks pretty good so far this year. That's one of those games that I think everybody kind of chalked up as an easy dub that maybe won't be an easy dub. We'll know a lot more about both of these teams.
Absolutely.
Obviously, by the time we get to November 1st. But it's your last chance in front of your home crowd to play for a long time. And it's the worst team you're going to play all season. So those two things, yeah, should make it easy and should make it the sense of urgency that we're looking for.
Yeah, and you're going to get Longhorn fans headed to the swamp. That's going to be one of those places where you're going to get lots of people traveling. And if you want them to travel, you need to look good at home.
You know who that is? That's Hurricane Hecht.
I was going to say that looks like a guy making deals on the phone right there.
Yeah, Ryan Hurricane Hecht is here, literally saving lives.
He's saving lives right now, right?
The best personal injury attorney in the city.
He's not on the phone. Yeah. He's not on the phone with family. Yeah. He's on the phone with the client.
You think he's drinking a beer? No, there's water in that can.
Absolutely.
Because he's always working. He's always locked in. All right, let's give our first round of scoreboard updates powered by our great friends at Gobundance. We'll tell you a little bit more about them in a moment. But obviously tons of action going on across the world of college football right now. I think the game that every SEC fan and every Texas fan is paying the most attention to is the game that is on the screen here at Scholz Garten. Auburn at Oklahoma, late third quarter in Norman. It's the Sooners clinging to a 3-point lead. Very low scoring. Auburn got screwed by an overturned touchdown early in the game. The SEC
rock fight.
The SEC loves John Mateer. The replay officials love John Mateer. Everybody loves that guy. Come up for air, everyone, please.
Oh, good.
But Oklahoma with a 3-point lead right now in that one. Some other action going on right now. Number 21, Michigan leading Nebraska 27-20 early fourth quarter in Lincoln. Ole Miss all over Tulane. I know some folks were picking that as a potential upset in Oxford. The Rebels 38, the Green Wave 3. Some action from earlier today. How about Texas Tech? Buck?
Oh, the best team money can buy.
The best team money can buy. NIL has changed a lot of things in college football. No bigger change than Texas Tech having a defense. I never thought I would see the day. That's the power of name, image, and likeness, that Texas Tech can actually field a good defense. They dominated Utah today.
They look like they went and took money from the NFL and just brought players from the NFL. they have got a bunch of killer dogs on that defensive line.
They look good. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
34-10. It was close for the first three quarters, but Texas Tech kind of ran away and hid. Of course, their quarterback got hurt, but the backup, Will Hammond's very impressive in relief for Texas Tech. That is a nice win for your Mark U, as we like to call them.
And that Friday score of Oklahoma State.
Who's more disappointing, Oklahoma State or Clemson? Because I was going to go to that game next.
Well, I was thinking that Dabo's hoping they will fire him with the buyout and make the money that he can make. He's been begging them. He goes, if you don't like me, fire me. Well, you're going to get your wish maybe, but that buyout is huge. So he says, I will continue to go coach somewhere else. I'll take that money. But they look bad.
That was your sleeper going into the year.
Wow, they look bad.
And look, you weren't alone. I mean, I thought Clemson was going to make a run at a national title this year. I think everybody did.
That defense is nothing like they talked about.
They're out. They lost their third game today. Syracuse got them at home. To make matters worse for Tigers fans, there was like a 2-hour rain delay. They had to sit through that and wait it out, and then they got to watch their team get smoked by Syracuse at home. It's gone from bad to worse for Dabo.
Syracuse has one of the best coaches in the country. Don't forget that.
Of course. Yeah.
Great recruiter.
Clemson now 1-3. Their season's over. Their season is over. They are without question the biggest disappointment through the first month of college football.
Watch their fans start dropping out like flies.
And then you mentioned it. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Last night, Tulsa 19, Oklahoma State 12 in Stillwater.
Yeah, I believe if Coach Gundy wanted to retire on his own, PK, this would have been a year that if he'd had a good year, he may have said bye to this. He may be asked to go.
That's going to be ugly.
Tulsa,
that's going to be ugly.
It is.
Because it's going to be similar to what happened to Gary Patterson at TCU, where it's like Gary Patterson has a statue. He got a statue built of him while he was coaching in Fort Worth, and they still fired him. They were like trying to get him to agree to a mutual thing, and he's like, no, I want to keep coaching. And then they're like, all right, fine, you're gone. Like that, I think that's going to happen. They're going to see if Mike Gundy will agree to like some sort of mutual thing.
Yep.
I think Gundy's going to be like, nah, I like coaching here. And then they'll be like, all right, sorry.
And they'll buy him out.
They'll buy him out. Yeah. I know Boone Pickens is no longer with us, but
he doesn't have the guy that has backed him for so long now.
No,
and they just look terrible. That's a bad football team.
It's ugly right now for Oklahoma. Tulsa in Stillwater.
Wow.
Not that it should have mattered much, even if the game was in Tulsa.
But there was much scoring. It was like 19-12 or some weird.
19-12.
That's all they could muster up.
That was it. So there you go. Our first round of scoreboard updates brought to you by our friends at Gobundance. Texas football is built on legends, from Darrell K. Royal setting the standard to Matt Brown bringing home a national title to Vince Young and Colt McCoy leading by example. The Longhorn way is more than talent. It's about discipline, brotherhood, and rising to the occasion. That's the same spirit behind Gobundance, a community of high-achieving men, business professionals, investors, and leaders who push each other to win, not just in business, but in life. If you're ready to live like a champion, then Gobundance is your team.
Gobundance.
Join the tribe today at gobundance.com/TSU. That's GOBUNDANCE.com/TSU.
Give my TCU score, which I said that TCU was going to bury SMU.
You did?
They got it done.
The battle for the iron skillet?
Yeah, they wanted that skillet badly.
It's a great skillet.
Unlike your team who didn't want the boot. They didn't want the silver boot.
No, don't bring the Rangers into
this. Okay, they didn't want the boot, but you know who wanted the skillet? TCU, the Horned Frogs.
The Astros need to want the AL West a little bit more. They lost that opener last night to Seattle. Huge series in baseball. So many sports happenings right now, and we're here for all of it. All right, back to this Texas Sam Houston game. Buck, what are some things we need to see from Texas? I mean, we talked about Arch Manning playing well. We talked about the running backs getting things going a little bit. I wrote down a couple of areas of major concern. I don't know if you want me to go first or you want to go first.
No, you go ahead.
Here. So, okay. This is something that Rodney and I talked about last week. The third down offense is almost unbelievably bad for Texas. And we were hoping UTEP would be the get-right game.
Sure, you wouldn't be in a bunch of those.
Instead, Texas was 5 for 16 on third down. That's 31%. For the year, Texas is 12 of 42 on third down.
Wow.
The 126th in the country. Now, the good news is UTEP has one of the worst third down defenses in America. Matter of fact, they're 123rd in third down defense. So stoppable force versus the movable object is what it feels like. You're right. You would like to do enough on first and second down where you don't have 16 third down attempts today. But when you do inevitably get to a third down, you got to be better.
Well, I mean, and if you've seen all these 3rds and 9s instead of 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 1, that's far too many.
Yeah.
And Sark was here I watched him at Alabama, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3. Guys wide open, just dump the ball off to him. Here we go, another first down. I don't know where that's gone. I guess it's a lot to do with the quarterback play, but he's the quarterback guru. And when the quarterback has had opportunities to get that done, BK, he hasn't been accurate enough to get it done.
No.
There's a bunch of plays, as you know, you showed us last week, that guys are open. Throw it to the dude so he can get a first down. And then when he's been throwing it, the balls have been bouncing off their legs out wide. I mean, but the head coach has done some things that have been pretty good to get guys open cleanly for third down. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. Guys are wide open. The quarterback just hadn't got the ball to him.
Yeah, whether they're running it or passing it, those third downs just haven't been good enough.
Yes.
And on 4th down, Texas is just 5 for 12 on the season. That's a little bit better.
And maybe I'm putting more on Sark getting guys wide open, but he's done a pretty good job of that. We've seen. I mean, it's on film.
Right.
It's right there.
There have been moments where, there is a receiver schemed open on a 3rd down where if Arch just makes the right read, or even when he does make the right read, if he throws the ball in the right spots, then it's an easy pitch and catch and an easy conversion. But it's been anything but easy for Texas.
Yeah, I mean that part is really, really disappointing.
Yeah. And
the part where it's always like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2, or you can turn around and hand it off for a first down is disappointing also, which means you're not giving me enough on first down.
Right.
First down runs are getting – because if you don't get anything on first down runs, I don't expect this head coach to turn back around and hand it off again. He's not going to do that.
The 2nd and 10 run?
Yeah, the 2nd and 10 run stinks.
Yeah.
He's going to do something with the ball, throwing it in the air. And I think probably one of the things that they can start to get going again. I mean, Jack Injuries came here for a reason.
Yep.
It's time to get that guy back. You got that tight end. You brought him here for Cal. I mean, he's here for a reason. He's not here to be a blocker, which he's been a lot of. They've turned him into a blocker. Get the football back to him on some of these 3rd down plays.
I agree. He was nursing a bit of a bum ankle last week. Only 1 catch for 4 yards.
But he played in that game, didn't he?
He did play in that game. He had 2 touchdowns against San Jose State. Also made a couple of nice plays in the Ohio State game. So you're right. I think Jack Andrews can be a difference maker for this offense, and I'd like to see more of him. Look, Texas, they've been rotating a bunch of tight ends. We've seen 5 different tight ends see the field so far this year. Maybe they're saving Jack Andrews a little bit more for SEC play. But I'd like to see him make a couple of plays happen, even if he's only out there for a quarter and a half tonight. That number 88 makes some things happen because I do think he's one of your best weapons in your passing.
Yeah, I think you and we talk a lot about we're waiting for SEC play and what they're going to do. They don't need to wait for anything anymore. They need to get all these guys together, and they should have over the last couple of weeks. That some of the mistakes that they've made and some of the should have done this, should have done that, that stuff should all been ironed out. And what they had is a preseason. And here they're still struggling at a lot of different things. And like I said, I don't truly believe, the guys will be excited about playing SEC football and get into league play. But damn, if you don't straighten out some of the problems that you have, it's not going to matter.
So that's the weird thing because it's felt like the last 2 weeks, Steve Sarkeesian has sort of grab-bagged the offense a little bit.
Right.
He's trying a bunch of different principles and rules and formations, and he's just like trying to see what works. And not a lot has. I wonder if we see more of that tonight because it's kind of your last chance to, okay, let's try everything and see what we do best. Or I wonder if Sark's like, you know what, let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Let's tone it down. Let's pare the playbook down a little bit. Let's focus on a few things that our guys did really well in practice this week and just try that and give them some confidence with that so we know, okay, we don't have 100% of our playbook to take with us to Gainesville, but we've got a few things that we can depend on enough by the time SEC play gets
here. Well,
here.
I mean, if it depends on how he feels about his team, because if he feels like they can take not a lot with him to Gainesville and play a bad Florida team, which after tonight they will be rocking and reeling after Miami gets a hold of them.
Yeah.
If you think you can't go there with a full playbook, I don't know if this group here can carry out some of those things. And I know you say this, well, get good at what you can get good at,
right?
Besides using it all. But I think in the SEC play, you're going to have to let it all hang out. You're going to have to use a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Can these guys do it? The problem is, can they do it?
Jack of all trades.
You got to do it all.
Master of none.
If you're a master of none, but you got to try to be the jack of all trades in the SEC.
Just be a master of like 2 or 3 things. That's it. That's all I'm asking for.
about third down? How about we mastering third down to about 80%?
Master of your domain?
Yeah, whatever I have to be.
Is that what you want to see? Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to see Texas have a great day on third down. I want to get your thoughts on this, Buck, because this is another thing that a lot of Texas fans have been debating recently. Sark's very aggressive. He's always been aggressive. He goes for it on fourth down a lot, and this year has been no exception. You feel like you have a pretty good kicker. We haven't seen a lot from Mason Shipley yet, but his last name's Shipley, and he's a Texas Longhorn, so you assume he's good.
Sure.
But also he's 3 for 3 on his field goals this year. Would you like to see Texas maybe be less aggressive, maybe settle for 3 points a little more, or do you want to see them put on the gas going for it on fourth down as often as they have?
I think his thoughts about league play will be different. I think a lot of these times he's going to take the 3 points. He's going to say, you know what? I mean, we're in league play now. Guess what? If we win by 3, that's okay. If we win by 1, that's okay. I need to take this field goal and put my defense back on the field and let them get it done. I don't think he'll be as chancy once he gets to SEC play. Now, if you're at Georgia and you're down, 16, 18 points, you're going to have to be chancy. I mean, you got to take chances no matter what to beat a team like Georgia. To beat Florida, you can let your defense go out there and play football and win that game.
Yeah.
You're going to have to score some. You can't score 10, but you can go out there and score in the 20s and beat a team like Florida.
But for tonight, you're okay with them going forward on fourth down a bunch?
Yeah, you still got to fix your third down and your fourth down.
Yeah.
They're not great on fourth down either. And if you come to that situation, fourth down and 4, you're in, I don't care. Now, it doesn't have to be in the scoring zone. It could be at the 40 going in. Go ahead and go for it. Let's go.
Yeah, David Keith Williams chiming in on the Clean Cause YouTube comment line. We'll tell you about Clean Cause in a moment. He says, I hope Texas goes for fewer fourth downs. I would really like to see Texas habitually punt on fourth down at midfield and kick field goals on fourth down in the red zone.
Yeah, I want to see that in SEC play. I don't want to see that now.
Sark was asked about that this week. Sorry to cut you off, but Sark was asked about that this week, like third and fourth down struggles, and also do you continue to stay as aggressive as you've been on fourth down? Here's what he had to say.
What I felt about was early in the game, I think we have a 3rd and 1 we don't convert, a 3rd and 2 we don't convert, a 3rd and 4 we don't convert. Like, those are the ones we got to have. I'm okay with 3rd and 8, 9, 11, 12. Like, those ones are a little bit more difficult. But we had some real makeable third downs that we didn't make. And then I really felt great about the fourth downs that we didn't make. And part of that might be some execution. Part of that might be, somebody doing something a little bit differently than we did it in practice, which caused maybe somebody else to do something a little bit differently. But we have to remain aggressive, and I think that's part of the standard that we've created around here. We're an attack-oriented football team. We're going to attack you on offense. We're going to be aggressive on fourth down. We're an attack-oriented special teams unit. We're going to try to block punts. We're going to try to create returns. We don't fair catch kickoffs. We're trying to move the ball and change field position. We're an attack-oriented defense. We've gone 19 straight games at DKR where we've created a turnover. And so that style of play is, I think, unique to us. And I'm not gonna shift our style of play just because we've had a game or two where it didn't go the way we need it to go. We need to execute a little better. We need to perform a little better. But our style of play is something I think we've all grown accustomed to, and a style that is unique to us. And we're going to remain aggressive. We're going to continue to attack our opponents. We gotta. Those ones that are 1, 2, 4, 5, we got to have those, and we got to make sure we put a plan together that our guys feel comfortable and confident in executing.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to stick with what he does against this team and these types of teams. But I think when he gets into league play, he's going to take, if there's an opportunity to get 3 and his defense is playing some great football, he's going to let his defense play great football and win the football game. He's not going to be as chancy. But against this team, he can do this all night long.
That's a long one.
Dude, he can go for it on fourth down every time he wants to in this game.
I think he probably will.
4th and 20, 4th and 10, he can go for it, still win the football game. But when you get to league play and you're playing some of the teams that we've talked about, dude, you take that 3 points and let your defense play. Let them do what we know they can do.
Right. That might have to be the strategy for Texas in conference play. It's like, can you get to like 21 or 24 and then just let your defense sit on people?
I think I thought that in the beginning of the season, if they got into the high 20s, 28, 27 points, they can let, and it's really shown to be true, they can let this defense get out on the field and get you the ball back so you can go kick another field goal.
Right. Yeah, Sark basically told you right there, though, at least for this game tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's letting it go.
He ain't changing. He's going to
– And there's no reason to. Like I said, he can go for it on fourth down on every drive tonight, they would still win the football game.
Well, right. He could play this like a 10-year-old playing
Sure,
Madden, right?
absolutely.
To hell with the punt team, to hell with the field goal team. We're going for it.
But you know what he does have to do? He does have to get that special teams going. He needs some punt returns. He needs to go after a punt.
Yeah.
You're at home underneath the lights. If you're not going to go after this group and try to swipe one, when are you going to do it?
I wonder if they've already given up on that.
Because they swept the leg?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, you had the Manny Muhammad roughing the punter against San Jose State, and it kind of feels like they haven't really brought that
You
house.
can rough them 5 times a night and you still win by 21.
Well, they set up the return last week. You did get
Well,
a couple of really good Ryan Niblett returns.
Well, this is what you do. This is what they need a return. You know, that's a part of my special teams, my 3 keys.
Yeah.
They need a special teams play tonight.
It'd be nice.
You know, if they're not going to fair catch it, you know, and bring it out of the end zone, let's bring it to the house.
Yeah, Texas might not punt a lot, but they should have the punt return team on the field a lot.
Yeah.
So that would be nice to see.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them have a kickoff return. If you're not taking a knee with fair catching it, then take it out and let's go. And not have a guy hold, not have the same guy holding on the punt return.
If I hear a block in the back or a hold on number 24 today, I'm going to lose it.
Then that guy shouldn't be playing anymore. That ought to be it, shouldn't it?
That's a carryover from last year. Warren Roberson's solid player. I'm sure he's a great kid.
Nice kid.
Got to stop committing penalties on special teams. He had 2 of them on his own last week. I think he had about 32 of them last season on special
You got to
teams.
stop that. You can't keep putting the same guy making the same mistake out on the field.
I do want to go back, though. I know we're kind of back and forth talking about special teams and the offense. You know, I brought up this stat earlier this week. Texas, they have thrown it on 6 fourth downs. So they're 5 of 12 on fourth down for the year. They've thrown it on 6. They are 1 for 6 on those fourth downs where they've thrown the ball. The only conversion that they've had through the air on fourth down was Matthew Caldwell finding Khalid Lockett. So Arch Manning is 1 for 5 throwing on fourth down, but the one completion he had was 3 yards short. It was that last play against Ohio State. Like, if you are going to go for it on fourth down and you're going to throw the ball, you got to convert at some point, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's like,
or once again, you know what? Go ahead and punt and let your defense come out there. They may intercept one and go to the house.
Right. Again, I don't think we're going to see that tonight, but it's like, all right, if you are going to go for it, like, give us confidence that the decision is a good decision. You're not converting these enough, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to get a false sense of security tonight, but some guys need to have a game. This would be a great night to have a game. If you're a player, this is a great night for you.
Yeah.
And if the coach knows you're hot, some things go your way, go ahead and take it to the limit. One more time. You know what I'm saying?
Eagles.
There you go.
Okay.
Take it this one more time. Give it to him again. Give it to him again. Throw the ball down the field to him once again. Don't let him have a game where he gets 2 touchdowns when he can get 4. Let it happen for one of these wide receivers.
Should I call you Bucky Fry or Bucky Walsh?
I'm Walsh.
Going to be Joe Walsh?
Yeah, I'm Joe Walsh.
That guy has seen better days. Joe Walsh. There we go. What's going on? Great crowd here at Scholz Garten.
It is a nice house. Nice packed house tonight.
Man. There we go. Got a picture of a dog watching at home in the Texas jersey.
The dog has the channel.
We love that. The dog's locked into SEC Network Plus tonight at 7 o'clock.
Not I.
You going to stay here and watch it, Scholz?
I'm going to head to a local tavern and check it out.
There you go.
For sure.
Yeah, SEC Network Plus. I bet you missed the Longhorn Network tonight. People
no
dunked on
kid.
LHN for a long time. At least you could watch games like this instead of having to pay for a subscription to watch this game.
I'll get Brock Lesnar wrestling tonight, though. Probably.
Oh, is that on Real TV? It's not like a pay-per-view thing?
That's an ESPN deal. That's the main card for them tonight.
I might have to bail on my ticket to the Texas game. Hang on. All right, shout out to our friends at Clean Cause.
Love Clean Cause, folks. That company right here in Austin, Texas, they're making a difference. Clean Cause Beverages brand, they give 50% of their profits to support individuals in recovery from drug and alcohol addiction. Half of their profits do some great things in Austin and around the country. Clean Cause drinks are organic, sparkling yerba mate in flavors like cherry lime and, of course, orange ginger, and they'll get your day going without the jitters, BK. You won't get all jittery from that. You can pick it up at H-E-B, Whole Foods, and hundreds of other stores around the Austin and Texas area, as a matter of fact. You see it all over the state. Clean Cause. Love the folks at Clean Cause and what they do.
How about this? To date, the folks at Clean Cause have donated more than $3.8 million. They're just getting started. Pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Fantastic drinks. Like you said, they do great things in our community. Get them at any grocery store or convenience store. All right, shifting over to the Texas defense. We spent a little bit of time talking about the Longhorn defense earlier. Hopefully we see some more takeaways. Texas has been pretty good at that in these last couple of weeks. I talked about it earlier, though, the pass rush.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to get a ton of opportunities tonight. Phil Longo runs the air raid offense. They're the Sam Houston Bearkats. They're calling them the Air Cats because that's the type of offense that they're running. They're 0-3, and they're like in the 80s in points per game, so it's not really working.
The cats.
But you've been a fan of that for a long time.
You've been eating the dogs.
Yeah, I've been eating the dogs, but you've been eating the cat for a long time.
Absolutely.
That's at least the word on the street for you. But what else do you want to see from this Texas defense tonight, whether it's something we have seen or something that we haven't seen enough?
Well, I want to see guys get into throwing lanes and bat passes down. That is so disturbing for a quarterback in an offense to get a ball tipped. I'm not saying you have to intercept every one of them, but they've got some tall guys at the end of the line. If they're dropping back, taking two-step drop, and throwing out towards the perimeter and things like that, we need to see some tip balls. We really do. We need to see guys, last year, Moore was in getting in the way of balls, getting out there in the flat, getting in front of balls and making play. This is a night tonight where these little two-step drops the ball needs to be batted down, or somebody in the lane for picks. I expect to get about 4 picks tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at numbers. I'm looking for Manny Muhammad himself to have at least 2 interceptions.
I like that. Yeah,
they talk about how he's been more aggressive. Well, is there a better night to get aggressive than a short guys doing short drops and trying to get rid of the ball quick? You taking a chance?
I'm cool with that.
This is the night.
Manny Muhammad has yet to have an interception this season. Does have 2 PBUs so far through these first 3 weeks.
This is supposed to be an All-American defensive back. This guy needs it. The teams that they've been playing, that guy should have some picks.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. Texas did have 2 interceptions last week.
Sure.
Of course, they had 4 takeaways in the first half 2 weeks ago against San Jose State. So after the disappointing 0 takeaway performance in Columbus, they kind of bounced back with a total of 6 these last 2 weeks. But I wouldn't hate more. And UTEP's quarterbacks, they're not very good. And I say quarterbacks plural because I'm not entirely sure what UTEP. I'm not entirely sure what Sam Houston is going to do.
Who's going to play and who's going to get the playing time.
Right. So we might see both guys tonight. Hunter Watson is the redshirt senior. He started 12 games for them last year. He started the year as the starter. He's a bit of a dual threat guy. Then you've got the redshirt freshman, Mabry Matower, who transferred in from Wisconsin. He started their most recent game 2 weeks ago against Hawaii. Neither of those guys are very good. And you talk about getting pressure, right? How about these stats? Those 2 guys combined, Hunter Watson and Mabry Matower, 5 for 23 for 25 yards passing when pressured this year. So you get anything at them, and they just get lost.
Well, I mean, I trust enough in this defense. They're going to do just that. But like I said, I need to see some individuals have really good games in this football game.
There are 2 guys that I'm looking out for. One of them's Collinsons. He's the obvious one, right? Just a half a sack through 3 games. A guy who did a lot of talking this offseason, and that's not abnormal for him. He's very confident. He walks around with swagger, and he believes in himself, and he should. He's a hell of a player. But he was talking about breaking the Texas sack record this year. He is just a half a sack through 3 games. More penalties than sacks so far.
Yeah, that shouldn't be.
So he's one guy. And then Jalen Gilbo in the secondary. Manny Muhammad's this team's number 1 corner. He's looked very good. He doesn't have an interception yet, but I like what I've seen from him. Jalen Gilbo's the number 2 corner. He's the outside corner opposite of Manny Muhammad. He's getting targeted a little bit, and he's given up a little bit more than I would have hoped. So, I assume Sam Houston's game plan is going to be keep it away from Muhammad and try to go after Gilbo a little bit.
So you got to take a chance, too.
I hope we see a little bit more from him.
Yeah.
And if not, you've got Kobe Black, you've got Wardell Mack, you've got a couple of young guys who might be ready to rise to the occasion.
And they're not getting behind you, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I'm not giving up on Jalen Gilbo, but I haven't seen enough from him just yet that gives me faith when we get to conference play that he's going to be good enough to lock down some really good receivers. Hopefully he is a better game today.
Yeah, I mean, and Michael Tapp has had another game today, too. He's got to be a guy who gets involved in what they do in that secondary also.
We got some cheers.
He's been okay. He hadn't been, he needs to be way more active, I got to believe.
Michael Taff?
Yes.
We got some cheers, by the way, going on at Scholz Garten. I believe Auburn has just taken a lead in Norman, waiting to see if the extra point was made, but I believe it is 17-16 Auburn on top of Oklahoma.
In the rock fight?
Right now in the rock fight with 7 minutes and 8 seconds left. Yes, we have confirmed that score. So the Tigers with the lead for the first time in this one. You are, for some reason, rooting for Oklahoma.
Yes, I am. I want them to be as good as they can be until they play Texas.
I think everybody here.
We don't play Auburn. I don't care. We don't play them.
You're right. I think everybody else here at Scholz Garten is rooting for Auburn in this game.
Well,
based on
of course
that
they
cheer.
are.
Yeah, based on that cheer that we just heard. So there you go. We'll keep you posted. We've got another round of scoreboard updates we'll bring you in a moment. While we're talking about the Texas defense going up against the Sam Houston offense, Buck, how about our defensive player of the game predictions? Those are brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. We'll tell you more about them here in a moment. You have the honor.
Well, this is the second time this year I've chosen Manny Muhammad.
Okay.
So I mean, I was expecting he'd be a little bit more aggressive. They're going to still throw some balls at him, but he needs to intercept 2 balls tonight. You know, in this you versus the Pop Warner team, you need to get 2 picks. I mean, you get 2 picks in the backyard if you're playing against the kids, you know, the neighborhood kids. You'd pick them. So this is the neighborhood kids. Please pick a couple tonight. I expect Manny Muhammad to take some chances tonight, cut off some not drop back very far, but be right underneath coverage and make some plays. Because they're going to try. Their quarterbacks, whoever is that quarterback, is going to throw a couple mistakes. He needs to get 2 of those mistakes tonight.
Yeah, the neighborhood kids. It's like Texas is the 9th graders going up against like the little brother and his friends.
Absolutely.
9th grade versus the 6th grade. It's
Of course.
You got to feast on that type of matchup.
This is your night to get that done.
I
said, I'm looking for a lot of individual play tonight. I mean, I expect the offensive line as a group to play better, but I expect some guys on defense and the wide receiver group, and even, like you said, a running back to have some individual plays that are really, really good.
I like that pick. I'm going to go with Leonga Lafau. I think he's earned it.
He's been very consistent.
I think he's been the best player on the Texas defense through 3 weeks. I really do. Led the team in tackles last week. I think led the team in tackles in the Ohio State game as well. He has taken his game to another level here in 2025.
He doesn't have to be flashy. He just needs to be consistent, and that's what he is.
Great downhill player,
yes.
Right? He finds the gaps, and he shoots them, and he makes plays in the backfield. He's also pretty good sideline to sideline, too. He can move in space. Really like his game. You know, Anthony Hill gets all of the talk at linebacker, rightfully so. He's a preseason All-American. He's one of the best in the country. So Leonga Lafau, I think Texas fans maybe know him, but I don't think the rest of the country talks about him enough. He's one of the better defensive players, one of the better linebackers in the SEC, I think.
Yeah, he's a lot more sudden than people think he is. They really do. You know, you see him, he's always around the ball. He makes a lot of tackles. He's not the guy who goes in there head first and makes these run-stuffing tackles, but that guy will come over the top of guys. He'll get you for a loss.
Yeah.
He's just not that big linebacker that you're looking for. He looks like a big, strong safety.
As more of the modern era linebacker, right?
He
not your 250, 260 guy. He's 220, 230, but when he hits you, I think you feel it.
He's around the ball. He does. He makes a lot of tackles.
Yeah.
He's a sure tackle.
I'm going to go with Leonga Lafau as my defensive player
pick.
of the game. Thank you very much. Brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. If you're in the market for a newer pre-owned golf cart, we've got good news. Our friends at Kenfield Golf Cars are right around the corner. Literally, they got a bunch of golf carts driving around right now. They were founded back in 1979, and they've got an unparalleled selection of different golf carts available in new or used, and they want to turn your golf cart ideas into reality. No job too big, no job too small for their team, whether it's turning your existing golf cart into your own design or letting them build a golf cart that fits your family's needs. Nobody does it better than Kenfield Golf Cars. You can find them online at kenfieldgolfcars.com. Awesome. Or give them a call, 512-258-8515. All right. As we get into our final 30 minutes here of our Texas Sports Unfiltered pregame show, brought to you by our great friends at Covert Bee Cave and Audiovisual Consultations. Again, if you are here at Scholz Garten, make sure you stop by the table next to us. We are raffling off a free pair of Ariat boots and denim. I think we also have a couple of koozies left to give away. If you want a koozie to keep your beers cold, get your TSU koozie and rep us. You can bring it into the game tonight.
We know Lauren, the little girl, will have hers in there tonight.
You know what? I'm going to bring an extra one.
One for her?
I'm going to bring two. One for me and one for that little 5-year-old girl who's going to be chugging beer in the stands.
There you go.
And if I see her, I'm buying her a whole case. I would love to meet her.
She'll drink it before she leaves.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Hand the keys to little brother.
That's right.
We don't need her behind the wheel.
Absolutely
tonight.
not.
But love it here at Scholz Garten. Again, if you're looking for a place to watch the game, Scholz Garten is going to have it on the big screen here in Sangarunde Hall with the sound on. So if you don't have SEC Network Plus, if you don't want to pay for it, then just come here. Of course, if you're making your way to DKR, stop by for a drink, a quick bite to eat. Of course, the legendary Earl Campbell is about 50 feet away from us, signing autographs, taking pictures. If you want to meet One of the best to ever don the burnt orange and white. One of the best to ever step foot on a football field.
Absolutely.
You can come here to Scholz Garten. We've got a lot going on. All right, Buck, how about your 3 keys to victory? These are brought to you by our great friends at stand by. Stu Patrick. Oh, Jay's going to kill me.
No, there you go. We got our gear on. We got our gear on, Jay. Don't get mad. We're wearing their gear.
We got our gear on. Love Stu Patrick. We'll tell you more about them in a moment. But first, Buck, your 3 keys to a Texas victory.
I think number 1 for me is play with confidence and poise. Poise means don't jump. I don't see Baker jumping off, illegal procedures. I don't see a bunch of holdings out there. So, this whole group has to play with confidence. But I'm really directing this more to the offense. Play with confidence, play with poise, number 1. Number 2, be special in the special teams tonight. You're not going to get many chances in the SEC to return kickoffs to the house, block a bunch of punts, get great punt return. This is the night I think your special teams has to really, really play well. You got to prepare yourself for conference play. No better way than to play it against your neighbors. As we said, the kids from around the corner. Get this done in the special teams tonight. And number 3, I think you need to force 3 or more turnovers.
I like that.
Easy. Force 3 or more turnovers on this defense. They've been doing a great job on defense, but I need to see really, I'm asking Manny Muhammad to have at least 2 picks himself. So the rest of you guys, strip sacks, strip fumbles on running backs. Ball's going to come out of the quarterback's hand in a hurry. So you don't have to drop back. You don't have to be in a full-fledged back pedal to get the hell out of the way. They're not going to – every once in a while they may take a shot, but those receivers aren't going to get behind the kids from Texas. They're just not going to get by. They're not going to get by them.
No.
So go ahead and take some chances. This is the night to take some chances.
I like that. Be aggressive on defense.
Absolutely.
So play with poise. Special teams be special. 3 or more turnovers.
Yeah, and as for that whole – we'll know if they're playing with poise. We'll get it. If they play 2 great series and then come out and just pee down their legs for a series and a half, we're all going to know.
Yeah.
We're going to know that that's not the way you should have been playing against this group. If you got 2 or 3 good rallies, you should continue that through the night. Your guys, your backups and guys like that should be getting great opportunities to play tonight.
Oh, this is an eye test game, too.
Yes.
Of course, you want to cover for the first time this year, and those 2 things are kind of in conjunction, right? Like, you're probably going to look good if you win this game by more than 40 points.
Sure.
But, yeah, for a lot of folks out there, it's all right. Even if Texas wins, like, how does the offense look?
Truly.
How does Arch Manning look? Does he look like he's put some of those issues behind him? How does this running game look? How does the offensive line look? Like that matters so much, I think, for so many people. Because this thing just like I watched a lot of football today. So did you. Like we've watched a lot of football this year. I look at just about every other team ranked in the top 25. A lot more aesthetically pleasing on offense than Texas right now.
Even Clemson at times.
I don't know about that. I don't want to be comparing ourselves to Clemson. They just lost their 3rd game already this year. They're really bad. But it's like everything looks so robotic for the Texas offense right now. It's like it's so mechanical. Everyone's like overthinking and nothing is coming easy right now. Then you watch some of these teams with lesser talent than Texas just look smooth and fluid. I want it to look like that. It should look like that because of who you're playing against.
Yeah, dude, I looked at Texas Tech today. I'm going, how are they looking like this?
Right.
Why is the running back number 20 gouging Utah's defense? It's a couple guys that are going to the NFL. How do they gouge those guys? Why can't Texas get that done against UTEP and San Jose State? Why isn't that happening?
You can't change the past. You can change tonight.
Yes, you can.
This can be the start of the offense actually looking like really competent.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't matter the competition you're playing because you can only play what's in front of you. You can't do anything about that. That team is showing up. Nobody else is showing up at Sam Houston. It's not going to be Texas State. It's not. Thank goodness.
I forgot you're scared of Texas State.
It's not the road runners from down the road.
Yep.
It's the ghost of Sam Houston, and you need to play well against them. There's no looking around, and everyone will know, BK, if you don't play well against them.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's going to know if this offense looks spotty. We're all going to see it. We're all going to know.
Maybe that's the best part of this game, being on SEC Network Plus.
Oh.
And not everyone's going to get to watch it. So if Texas does struggle and look bad a little bit, then, the eyes of the world won't be paying attention.
And the eyes of college football have been on the quarterback here for a long, long time, ever since he got to this university.
Good.
And they haven't seen a lot of good things from him lately. And they'll still be looking tonight. They're going to still be looking all over the country wondering, is he back? Does he have it going on? Boy, if you can't get it going on against this group, brother, it's a long season. I'll say this. If it doesn't get going tonight, it's a long season because it's going to automatically change once you get to conference play.
Yeah, I think there are already some Texas fans who are panicking with what's happened through these first 3 games.
And you're 3-1.
2-1.
2-1. I keep saying 3.
And you're assuming.
All right, I'm counting this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the ones who aren't panicking, and I'm not panicking yet either. There would be a lot more panic if the offense can't figure it out tonight.
Yes.
I feel like it'll be a majority of Texas fans who are really nervous if the offense can't take a step.
And if it's sloppy tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Why
Penalties.
Why are you sloppy against them? It's going to be like, why are you sloppy against this group?
Exactly. Shout out to our friends at Sue Patrick, by the way. Before we let you hear from Steve Sarkeesian.
Got our gear on.
We've got our Sue Patrick polos on tonight. Love Sue Patrick. We're wearing Sue Patrick gear all the time.
Absolutely.
Fantastic gear. The best selection of Texas gear.
Those kids are like some jelly cats from Sue Patrick.
You think so?
Yes.
Is that the drinking girl right there? Look at that.
Looks like
her eyes are on the bar. She's trying to get Dad to take her to the bar.
Dad's heading that way.
Hang on. And he's like, all right, we're going.
Probably trying to get one in her before she goes into the stadium.
Oh my God, is that a little flask in her boot? That is incredible. Oh, man. All right, love Sue Patrick. SuePatrick.com if you want to shop online or shop in store at 5222 Burnett Road. Okay, here's another one from Steve Sarkeesian. We've talked about some of the things we want to see from Texas tonight. What does the head coach want to see from his team tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think as always, we hold our guys to some simple things, and one is our brand or our style of football, right? That's fast, that's physical, that's tough, and that's smart, and that encompasses a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I think when you're playing fast, you know what to do, and you can go cut it loose. Because we should be a fast team. I think the physicality in which we want to play the game in all 3 phases, I think is very clear. And that's not just at the line of scrimmage. I'm talking on the perimeter. That's perimeter blocking. That's tackling. That's the way we cover kicks. I think the toughness piece is the ability to persevere and overcome. Everybody thinks toughness is physical. I'm thinking a lot about the mental toughness because the game's not going to go perfect. And how do we respond to adversity in game? And then smart. We're playing smart football. And I think that's where some of our penalties have stemmed from. I think some of our penalties are not very smart plays, and we pride ourselves on being a smart football team. And so we got to get back to that. And then naturally the ball. I always look at the ball. Like, are we taking care of the ball? And one thing I was really proud of last week, all those carries by those young backs, they held on to the ball. They took care of the ball. Obviously, defensively, we've created 6 turnovers the last 2 games. So I would love to come out of here with no turnovers on offense Saturday. I'd love to create a couple or a few on defense. I'd love to play fast, physical, tough, smart football. And if we can do all those things, we're probably playing a brand and a style of football that we're accustomed to around here.
And he holds guys in high regards. He really does. Because I'm not worried about my running backs holding on to the ball. That you better hold on to the ball, or you won't get to play at this level. When they're excited about, we didn't put the ball on the ground. That's not what would drive me. I don't expect a guy who's gone from high school, who's been at the University of Texas, to be a fumbler. Or they don't play. They just, you want to play. I agree with them. You want to play fast, but this group is there's way too much thinking going on instead of playing. They don't look fast because they look like they're always, something's burning. That wood's burning up there, and they're not just going to play. I mean, he constantly says, I want Arch to be Arch. No, I want Arch to be somebody else. I want Arch to be Peyton because Arch, who is Arch right now, isn't what I'm looking for. So, I need that guy to be somebody else. He can be, we all emulate other people. Emulate your uncle or emulate somebody else.
I just want Arch to look more like 2024 Arch.
Yeah, that would do.
I mean, even that would be a big step in the right direction. We were hoping he would look better this year than that, but obviously he's looked worse so far this year. So
it's hard to play fast when you're not confident.
Right.
And that's what scares me about this group. And when you come and you bring a lot of different players from other schools, and the portal is one of those deals where, sometimes it takes a while for you to get everybody together. You understand each other. You understand the ups and downs of your team and how they are. But guess what? They brought most of their guys for playing defense, and they're playing well.
Yeah.
They are together.
Yep.
They're the ones playing the good football. So it's the offense needs to get going tonight, period.
Right, 100%. And Arch Manning, it starts with the quarterback.
Yeah, it starts with him. All this stuff starts with the quarterback. Right.
And look, everyone's got their own opinion of why Arch Manning is struggling. I heard Joel Klatt earlier this week talking about how Arch is.
And he knows because he plays the position.
Right. It's too fast. Everything's too fast for him. I mean, everyone's just it's a problem. It's got to get better. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
Here is a couple of interesting ones from Steve Sarkeesian here. And Sark was asked a couple of days ago if Arch looks different in practice than he does during the games. Here's his response to that.
No, I would say no. I would say we get a little different version in practice, and so naturally that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that ability to take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and play with that same kind of confidence and intent on Saturday. And so that's the part for us, is that we see and we know what it looks like. My goal is that you all get to see that. And that's what we're striving for. He's had a great week. So I've been proud of him for that.
Yeah, he was a little hesitant about, give me a yes or no. If you give me a no, I'm thinking, oh boy, that scares me a little bit. It should have been, hell no, he looks way better in practice than he does in the games. That'd be, if he'd just be honest and say, no, he doesn't look this way. He looks great at practice.
Right. I hope that's the real answer.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I didn't want to get the I'm not quite sure.
We are talking about practice, man. Nobody really cares about practice.
No, nobody cares about practice.
That's not what gets you into the playoff. That's not what wins you an SEC championship.
That's right.
We got to see it on Saturday. So that's great that he looks good in practice. I hope that's right. And it's not just the head coach saying that. All of Arch Manning's teammates are saying the same thing. But it doesn't really matter if it doesn't carry over to Saturday.
Yeah, once again, so far this season going into this game, in my mind, I believe that the defense has been knocking the crap out of the offense since spring ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know how I feel about that. When we first got that, the offense is a little behind. And then the like 2 weeks that I told you that the head coach is not going to let his offense get beat up by the defense. I think they may have had a day, out of this whole since spring. They may have had a day.
Just one?
Just one that they could talk about and hang their hats on. I think their defense at practice beats the living dog crap out of them every day.
Yeah. It's hard to disagree with the way the defense has looked so far and the way the offense has as well.
Yes.
Here's one from Arch Manning himself. He was asked earlier this week if his struggles are more physical or mental.
Probably mental, to be honest. I think I just need to go out there and play my game. I know the type of athlete and type of player I am. Just go cut it loose and have some fun, play ball.
Cut it loose, have some fun, play ball.
Yeah, and that's why I said this was an important game for him to cut it loose, have some fun, then have a week off where you don't have to worry about football a little bit and pay attention to some other things that you got going on before you start league play. You'll get to Florida soon enough. But get rid of some of the mistakes that you're having right now.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time to do it. And it comes at a great time because you'll have off after this. You want to go in to going to the swamp with some positive things. Can't get any better than this. It didn't get any easier than this.
No, as golden of a golden opportunity
goodness.
as you could have. And, it would have to feel like just a huge weight off of Arch Manning's back if he does go out there and play.
I don't even want to say – I'm not even going to mention if it's not. I'm just mentioning the fact that this is the one where you go and have a great time, do some things that people will, because they're going to be talking about you no matter what. And even if you do well, they're going to talk about, well, look who you played against.
Sure.
Well, don't care about who you played against. Just go play well.
You can't control the schedule.
No, just go play well against the team that's right in front of you.
Yep. Build
Control yourself, get your confidence, get your poise, and get your offensive team together.
And again, going up against one of the worst secondaries, just one of the worst defenses in all of college football.
Yeah, because the coach isn't changing the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's stuck with this guy right now. And plus the guy's good enough to make a difference. So fix him, get him fixed tonight so that you're ready to go in league play.
Absolutely. All right, I've got some bold predictions
for
tonight's game. I got 4 of them. 4 is a football number, so we'll go with that instead of 5. The first one, I mentioned this on our show yesterday. I think I mentioned this earlier today. A Texas running back is going to score a touchdown in this game.
Right.
I haven't seen that yet this year, which is absolutely insane that we haven't seen that. I also think Arch Manning is going to go for at least 5 touchdowns today.
Yeah, I do. I thought about 4 or 5. Man, you're right. That's a good call.
He went for 5 against San Jose State. That was the most criticized 5-touchdown game I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Because there were some moments that didn't look good. But
you think 5 and looking good.
Yeah,
right?
He did throw 4 and run for 1 against San Jose State. What I want to see is Arch Manning have 5 touchdowns and some other guys score.
Sure.
The problem with that San Jose State game is Texas only scored 5 touchdowns as a team.
You're right.
So Arch Manning was responsible for 100% of those. It'd be nice to see him get into the end zone a bunch and a bunch of other guys score as well. I'm going to go with this one, too, for the Texas defense. I think the Longhorn defense will outscore the Sam Houston offense tonight.
Good call.
So whether it's a pick six or a scoop and score, I don't think Sam Houston gets into the end zone in this game.
So you're not thinking 14.
No, I'm not thinking 14. I'm thinking like at the most 6, and that's 2
Wow.
field goals. But I'm more like 3 or 0, I think, with the Texas defense.
I'm definitely like 0.
Yeah, so I like that. So no, I don't think Sam Houston gets into the end zone, and I think the Texas defense does find their way into the end zone. So again, pick 6, scoop and score. There are enough opportunistic players on this defense. Again, they have 6 takeaways in the last 2 weeks. The Sam Houston quarterbacks have been horrible this year. They've been even worse under pressure. I think they've actually thrown a pick 6 in each of the last 2 games.
Oh,
and it's been 2 different quarterbacks. Like one quarterback threw it in one game, the other quarterback threw it in the other game. So they have been ripe for the defensive touchdowns. And then last but not least, Texas covers the spread. Shouldn't be a bold prediction, but considering they're 0-3 against the spread this year, they've had some big numbers these last 2 weeks. They failed to get it done. I think they finally put it together.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And everything looks good, and they end up covering.
I agree. I think you'll see the backup quarterback being early in this game.
Yeah.
I think you'll find that Arch Manning will do well enough that he can be out early enough to give some backup some opportunities to play.
I hope you're right. Sark talked a lot this week about wanting more depth guys to get out there. We've seen a lot of that this year, but yeah, I hope. We've seen Matthew Caldwell in each of the last 2 games, but it's been like midway through the 4th quarter.
Because it's almost like you need him.
Yeah, honestly. And you want Arch Manning to play well enough and show you enough in the first, 2.5 quarters. I think regardless of how good the Texas offense looks tonight, Arch Manning is going to play in the second half. I think Sark wants to see him come out of the locker room.
Sure.
Yeah, and Texas, they've struggled out of the gates in some of these halves. So, can we carry maybe some good momentum from the second quarter into the third quarter? But it's like, I hope Texas is up 45-0 midway through the third quarter. And it's like, you know what? We've seen enough from Arch. We know clean some things up. Now let's let Matthew Caldwell get some and keep Arch safe, too. Like, you want to know what you have with your backup, but it's also, all right, you got to keep Arch Manning healthy.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. That's a good call.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that. All right, a couple more scoreboard updates here. Then we'll do our raffle drawing, and we will do our game score prediction before we wrap things
those
up.
Seminoles.
Yeah, Florida State's playing Kent State. They're up 66-10. Nick Saban on game day today dropped an S-bomb.
That was great.
Had to double take.
That was great.
He said Florida State's going to kick the shit out of Kent State.
That was great.
That wasn't McAfee?
Yeah, no, that's what I thought it was. I said, oh my God, it's Saban.
That was Saban.
That was perfect, and he's right.
So Florida State, maybe the biggest surprise and one of the biggest stories of the college football season, unranked to begin the year. Obviously, that huge win over Alabama. They are dominating Kent State. They're about to improve to 3-0. Oklahoma took the lead over Auburn. They marched down the field, scored a touchdown. Auburn down 5. They have the ball 2nd and 25 from their own 8-yard line.
Yeah, go for it on 4th.
Tigers in a little bit of trouble here trying to mount a comeback in the Jackson-Arnold Bowl. Notre Dame, their offense is good. We saw that last week against A&M. Their defense is not good.
Yeah.
They're up 35-23 against Purdue at halftime. I think Notre Dame was like a 30-point favorite on that game, and that's a little closer than they would like. Those are some of your best games in progress.
Some good games tonight, too.
Right now. South Carolina and Missouri underway in the Battle of Columbia. We got 0-0 midway through the first quarter there. And, again, some finals from earlier today. Clemson dropping their 3rd game of the year.
Wow.
Texas Tech going into Salt Lake City and running away and hiding from Utah. And
boy, they beat them up physically.
They did, absolutely. And then TCU in the battle for the Iron Skillet, taking down
Skillet needs something.
SMU. By the way, Michigan over Nebraska, 30-27. That one just went final in Lincoln. So nice win for Bryce Underwood, the true freshman. No Sharon Moore, the Michigan coach.
Now he's back to coaching now.
Serving the 2nd game of his 2-game suspension. Now he is, or he will be back for Michigan next week. But a nice win for the Wolverines on the road. Any thoughts on this Illinois-Indiana game tonight?
I think I picked Indiana for some odd reason.
Okay.
But in my mind now, I think I'm switching it so that you hear it right here. I'm taking the Fighting Illini. Now, you said to me yesterday, how can you not take the Fighting? I'm taking the Fighting Illini.
You're changing your Gold Star lock?
And the people can hear that, yes.
How many units are you putting on that?
50,000 units.
Okay, I'm double checking. Yeah, right now you have 25,000 on Indiana.
I'll take 25,000 on the other. Flip that around.
You're switching it.
How can I not switch that?
You used to coach there. I figured you'd be a little more confident.
Dude, that's where they had Farm Aid. What's wrong with me?
So they had what now?
Farm Aid, the concert. The original Farm Aid concert was at the university, at the stadium there.
You got AIDS there?
Farm Aid.
What is Farm AIDS?
Farm Aid. Farm Aid.
What is that?
It's a big concert they had back before you were born.
In Illinois?
In Illinois, at Champaign, at that stadium.
You say it like I'm the only person in the world who doesn't know what Farm AIDS is.
Everybody knows except for you, yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Was it like ACL of Champaign?
Yes, it
Is
is.
that what it was?
Huge.
The Lollapalooza up there?
It's one of those like We Are the World kind of deal.
Oh, that was it.
It's like that.
Like
yes.
a Woodstock
It
situation?
was one of those, very close, very
Oh,
simple.
I can't even imagine what you got into there. That's terrifying. All right, our scoreboard update brought to you again by our friends at Gobundance, gobundance.com/TSU for more information. It's the brotherhood that you have been looking for.
OU is getting after them down there, their own territory.
Yeah, we've got
That defense.
9 minutes left in the show. And Auburn in a little bit of trouble right now, trying to come back in the final minutes at Oklahoma. All right, what have we not talked about here, Buck? We've talked about the Texas passing game and Arch Manning need to figure it out. Talked about the run game as well. Have you spent enough time talking about the offensive line? Because
I know how it's these games where you think that they would get together, but what we saw, they were okay against Ohio State. They came out, and I think we were feeling pretty good. This could be a good year. Win, lose, or draw against Ohio State the way they played. And now we're looking at it, BK, and it's like a couple weeks later we're thinking, boy, are they soft. It's kind of mushy in there. There's not a lot of push in the run game. There's been enough pressures on the quarterback, but I don't know. I don't even know if they settled in to who they think are the best players on that offensive line.
I think it maybe been more disappointing in the offensive line than I have in Arch Manning's play so far.
Yeah.
Like you said, they did some good things against Ohio State. You're looking at the next 3 games, and it's like, all right, they're going to feast on this.
Yeah, it felt like their backs were against the wall against Ohio State.
Right.
And they came out swinging.
And San Jose State, Utah, 2 undersized defensive lines. That's what they're going to see, again, in this game tonight. Sam Houston's going to try twists and stunts and a bunch of other games.
And that's where they should just gouge them in the run game.
This should be an easy matchup for the Texas offensive line.
Yes.
But Texas has been bullied a bit by some of these smaller fronts. Like some of these offensive linemen can't handle quickness.
Don't forget how good UTEP is nationally.
Texas made them look very good nationally. Yes. So that's the thing. It's like you're going to see an undersized, quicker defensive line. I think Sam Houston's best player on defense is an edge rusher who's 6 feet, 240 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
So that guy's got some quickness right there.
Yeah, and I'm going to run right at him all night until he surrenders.
You should be able to do that. You should be able to just like a feather move that guy out of the way. That's another area. It's everything on this offense that you got to see more of to feel better about things.
You're right.
Going into league play. But like if it's 3 weeks in a row against a bunch of 1- and 2-star recruits where your offensive line just can't get a push up front, then Florida's got a very good defense. Say what they are, they might fall to 1 and 3 tonight. Their defense is very talented. That is not the reason they've lost a couple of games this year. Oklahoma's defense, they just got a safety. How about the cover play for you, Buck?
Yeah.
To go from up 5 to up 7.
I thought that was it, or at least for my cousin, that would be a push.
I think it was, oh, no.
Yes.
I thought it was 6.5.
No.
You got it at 7?
Yes.
Oh, that is tragic right there. Oklahoma's defense is very, very good. So you think about what they're going to bring on the defensive front. This is why, again, if Texas does great on the offensive line, there are a lot of people who are like, oh, it's Sam Houston. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, well,
but it's if you don't do great, there's going to be people like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not what we don't hear about. It's what we do hear about tonight. That's going to be a scary thing for Texas. I expected just good things tonight. I think this is one of those that they just roll the team over, and they don't mess around. A lot of guys get to play. And a lot of guys get to have a positive experience.
I'd like to see that.
And the guys who need to have a positive experience.
I'm with you.
Ryan Wingo needs to catch about 5 or 6 balls that are deep balls themselves. He needs to outrun guys in their total back pedal. If they're just running back in 3 deep, trying to get back as quick as they can or as far as they can, he needs to go right by him.
Well, we're looking for more explosive plays. And sure, those deep shots are great, but also you can have a catch and run as an explosive play.
Oh, no doubt.
So if you just hit if you hit Ryan Wingo in stride on a crossing route.
Oh, yeah.
You can cut up field and turn, a 5-yard pass into a 75-yard touchdown. That's fine.
Yeah, if one of those quick screen goes out there to the wide receiver, I'm going to start crying. And if it gets stuffed at the line, I'm not going to be happy.
You do hate that play.
I don't like that play.
The tunnel screen.
I don't want to see any tunnel screens.
What if it works? You're still going to be mad about it?
No.
Okay.
Hey,
Works, it's okay.
Hey, let's make it work.
That's all that matters.
Hey, it's all that matters. Make it work.
No, only the second ever meeting between Texas and Sam Houston. The first happened back in 2006, a game here in Austin. The Longhorns won 56-3. Sam Houston, little interesting nugget about that game. Sam Houston was an FCS school at the time. That is the last time the Longhorns have played a team in the FCS. So people are like, oh, Texas playing a bunch of nobodies right now. There are a bunch of SEC and Big Ten teams playing FCS competition every single year.
And they're putting 70 on them.
Right. It's been nearly 2 decades.
I think you've seen that early in this football season. Those teams are putting 70 and 66-0 on them.
Yeah.
That needs to happen here.
I'd like to see that. 56-3, that'd be fine. That's what the score was the only other time these teams played.
You're right.
I'd be okay with that. Colt McCoy had 2 touchdowns. Jevin Sneed had a couple of touchdowns in this game. Big Henry Melton had a couple of touchdowns. Shipley, Aaron Ross, Quan Cosby had a punt return for a touchdown.
I'd like to see one of those tonight.
Sam Houston, by the way, 0-15 all time against the SEC. So that's not going to change. Like I said, it'll be 0-16, so it will have to change a little bit. All right, it's time to get to our game score predictions brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. I'll tell you more about them in a moment. But first, we've got to do our raffle. We are giving away a pair of Ariat boots and denim. Thanks to everybody who signed up here at Scholz Garten. We've got our man Mason Gomez on camera. So everyone's seeing it's legit. We got hanging chads here. Is this a legit thing? You think he knows what a hanging chad is?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Congrats to Roxy Reyna. Roxy Reyna is the winner of our Ariat boots and denim. A lot of people have cleared out, of course, making their way to DKR. So Roxy, we will reach out to you. We've got your phone number. Put that in my back pocket.
Nice job
there. And congratulations and thank you for stopping by Scholz Garten. All right, time for our game score prediction, Buck. Sorry to cut you off. What were you saying?
Yes, I was going to say, I'm ready for my 0 prediction.
Okay.
They're going to get absolutely nothing, BK. I know Mason's getting ready. I'll go ahead and go.
Yeah, go ahead.
56-0.
56-0. So 56-3 wasn't good enough for you.
56-0 today.
I like that. So a Texas win, a Texas cover, and also an over. The total is 51.5. So you're saying Texas gets there by themselves?
I think so. I think this is a night where everything it's not like falling in place. Everything should be in place against this team. This is just a total mismatch. And the Longhorns need to take advantage of the mismatch tonight.
I like that. All right, Mason Gomez, what say you?
First 3 weeks, every single Texas under has been free. This week, I think they finally get a cover. I'll say Texas 55. Sam Houston gets a couple field goals, 55-6.
55-6. All right, so a Texas win and a Texas cover. How many touchdowns for Arch Manning today, Mason?
He'll get a couple before he gets pulled.
Just a couple?
Run game finally has something to say about moving the football.
I like that. Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to see the
run
game get something going a little bit. All right, I am also picking Texas to win. No surprise there. I am also picking Texas to cover, but I'm going under. I'm going 44-3.
You're just not quite sure them scoring enough points, are you?
I feel like 44. I mean, that'd be a season high for them. Part of me is like, should I go 38? Some of our TSU staff had Texas in the 30s. So it's like, I'm going 44-3. That's a win. That's a cover. I would like to go 50 or 60, but until I see it with my own 2 eyes, I'm not going to predict it.
I just like the mismatch. This is
it's a mismatch. It's about as mismatched as you could possibly have.
And if you need your quarterback to get well, this is the one where he gets well.
Yeah, you need that tonight for sure. Shout out to our friends at Paul's Motor Works, bringing you our game score predictions. A quick word for them. They are the best car mechanic that you can find.
Absolutely.
They've been providing complete foreign and domestic automotive repair in Austin since 2000. They specialize in BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, Porsche, but they can work on any make or model, from oil changes and tire rotations to major repairs. Don't trust your car to just anyone. Trust your car to the great people at Paul's Motor Works. Your search for a good mechanic is over. I drive 30 minutes to go see these guys.
I know. Just get your oil change.
Yeah, they do a great job. Got some brakes done last week. Go see Paul and his great team on 2222 right off of 620. You can find more info online at pmwaustin.com. Gentlemen, this is fun. Shout out to Jake Bayless. Made the drive all the way from DFW just for this show. He's actually driving back. He's not even staying for the game.
He's not even staying for the game. There you go.
He just wanted to see the TSU pregame show in person. He's definitely not walking into DKR right now. There's no way. There's no way.
Time to go home.
But one of our favorites, and
I appreciate it.
What a great turnout here at Scholz Garten. And it'll be a while until we're here again. Not another home game until November. It's crazy.
That is kind of
It
crazy.
is very crazy, but that will do it for us here at Scholz Garten. As always, thanks to the fine folks at Scholz Garten for hosting us. Such an honor to get to do our pregame show, such an iconic Austin institution. Great turnout today. Again, if you're looking for a place to watch the game, come here. Plenty of seats available. They'll have the game on with the sound on. Great beer, great food, everything you need. Plus, Earl Campbell is here signing autographs and taking pictures as well. But that will do it for us. For Adam Wagner, back at home. For Mason Gomez, for Bucky Godbolts, I am BK Brad Kellner.
Great job, BK.
And likewise, my friend. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in today. Y'all enjoy the game and the rest of the weekends. And hook 'em.